I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars. baby, take my hand. And we don't need to do the things we don't wanna do. Baby, while we're young,
Hey guys, welcome to AMT Presents TEC Showdown Valorant. My name is Scripps, and with me is Universe, and we're going to be seeing some amazing matches today. We have teams from across the continent, and they're all here about to participate.
Yeah, it is indeed a beautiful day today. I think that the SEA teams have really taken over this scene by storm, especially, considering that all the SEA teams, at least four of them, are on the upper bracket, and the SA teams have been sent down to lower bracket. We've seen, Paper X beat Exploit, we've seen Alter Ego beat Global Esports, Velocity were beaten by Louvre, and Bleed Esports beat Enigma. Now, those are four teams that we have seen usually on this, competition in the SA. Velocity, Global, Enigma, Exploit, all four of these teams have been at the top of their game, but the SEA seem like they're having an edge above them. And today, it's about those SEA teams going against each other. We have Bleed Esports going up against the side of,
Against
sorry,
the side
forgive
of
me,
Alter Ego.
Alter Ego, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is going to be an interesting matchup. I don't think we've seen this before, especially in our region. We've not seen these two teams compete apart from the one or two matches that they've played. Let's have a look at the brackets and see where exactly everything's going to be lining up for all of these teams. Now in the upper bracket, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Paper X and Louvre are going to be facing off against each other, and Bleed and Alter Ego are going up against each other today. And whoever wins, well, it only gets more difficult from here. And to be honest, I want to see who's actually going to be sent down to lower brackets between these two, because if Bleed beat Enigma, are they going to be good enough to face off Velocity in case they go down, or are Alter Ego going to be moving down? Because whoever loses this is going to be facing either Velocity or Exploit.
And both of those are pretty tough teams. I mean, when Velocity and Exploit fought each other, they went to a five mapper the last time I saw it. So this has to be a very, very interesting affair. Both of those teams are more or less on the same level. So you need to make sure you're at least above one of them. Bleed and Alter Ego, though, they are somewhat similar teams, although with varying levels of discipline. In today's matchup, it really will determine who's going to be the first team to enter the winner bracket finals. And that is going to be one very important match as well. The winner bracket finals, it gets you directly into grand finals. You don't have to worry about the pressure of the lower bracket. It's a highway to success.
I mean, more or less it is, but except the fact that if you do lose in the winner bracket finals, you are still going to go to the lower bracket and have to play a secondary semifinals,
Hmm.
and you're going to have to make your way back against the grand finals, and that is going to be a little bit of a tricky situation, because by that time, I am pretty sure that teams have learned how to counter you, even if this is the first time they played. Because I know that Velocity, this was the first time they played against Louvre. I'm not quite sure if they scrimmed against them, but even if they have, it wouldn't have been as many times. It would have been different compositions. Their main
Mhm.
lineups are totally different from each other in the way they play. Their game styles are different. So whatever these SA teams would have learned in the last couple of days having played against them, they are going to be putting them into practice in the matches to come when there are teams dropping down from the winners bracket. Now that is going to be interesting, because are they going to get the revenge story? Are they going to be able to beat them is the question. Because first of all, I don't think there's anybody who can stop Paper X. If Louvre
Hmm.
do it, if Louvre somehow do win against Paper X, that's going to be a feat that I'm going to have to say, wow, that deserves respect from every order of whatever we know to be as Valorant in this region of SEA and SA. And if Paper X do go ahead, then Louvre are going to come down and yet again face the one of the other SA teams, maybe Global Esports, whoever it is. We don't know. We are going to find out. But right now, Bleed and Alter Ego, two teams that I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be looking at, because not everybody knows them, totally like how they know our teams from the region. Bleed are a new name that we've heard, and Alter Ego are new. We know that Paper X has played on the highest level. They've gone to the champions. We know Louvre as well. They were during that, they were playing different tournaments at the time. I think they played one back in the time where Global Esports had their fight night going on and stuff. But that was about it. We don't really know in-depth situation. We're gonna find out what they are today, going up against each other from their own region.
Definitely. I kind of think that over here, Alter Ego are somewhat stronger because they have had more experience. But Bleed Esports also are full of some really, really cracked people. Here we have Lexi, First Love, Jopix, Frosties, and Chrysania. Now, Frosties and Chrysania are the kind of play people who really just pop off, and they can individually clutch out rounds if they're alive in the round. So that could be one big determining factor. Although I must say that everyone else in their team, Lexi, First Love, even these guys are really great supports, and they will help you out in the best way possible, even if it means that they have to bait themselves. They will do it. They don't mind. Bleed Esports are really good at toying around with the human mind in that matter. So when it comes to small micro decisions, I think Bleed Esports can still win. Although the overall macro strategy does seem to be better on the side of Alter Ego. Although that could very well change in this game.
Yeah, that most certainly could. Considering that we have seen Alter Ego on go up against Global Esports, and that was a match where we got to see a lot of their gameplay, to be honest. And Global Esports did win out a match against Alter Ego, and Bleed. They took down Enigma 2-0 on the clean. But even though that was a clean match, Bleed Esports were made to sweat. They had a little bit of hard work being put in to taking out Enigma. And I'm really interested to see how exactly they're going to be facing off from a team of their own region, because games like these, we don't really from our region, we don't really get to see this as often. Uh, but watching it happen in the TEC Showdown is something that we should be really looking forward to. And here's the team that we are going to be looking at be a little bit more dominant today. Just like Crip said, I think that Del B is a really, really important player for their team. He is, surgical. He's aggressive. He is upfront and straight in the faces of the opponents. And I love this team. I love watching them. The first time I saw them play, they did a great job. And I love, just like you said, Crips, I have to agree that Alter Ego probably do have the upper hand today in terms of raw technical skill and overall team gameplay. But this is still going to be, I think, a more competitive match than we would expect it to be.
This could be very well the case. Julio is the substitute of this team, so the playing five are going to be Kush, Nats, Moji, Delby, and Enable. Now, you already mentioned which player is good at what role. I'm kind of really curious about the name Nats. I mean, for obvious reasons, it does resemble the Nats that exists in Gambit Esports. Do you think his playstyle is anywhere close to that one?
I wouldn't say exactly. He's not really that much of a Nats is the craziest lurker that I've ever seen. Right, honestly, I don't think we've seen Nats from that kind of a Nats anywhere else. He's just got a whole other flair to him. But
Hmm.
this Nats, don't mistake. He is somebody that for sure takes over a little bit. I think a little bit of a skill similarity between this Nats and that one. I think the way that he fits into this team is really important for how Alter Ego function, completely. He plays that controller role, and he's a little versatile with the way he plays as well. So overall, I have to say that him and Moji as a combination are somewhat of a duo that really hold on the side defensively. They're really good at that, but they, when faced off on pressure, sometimes do falter because it's split timing. I think it's just timing if you catch these guys off guard, because there are most of the times that they're looking at individual lanes. For example, let's take Ascent, which was on against Global Esports. Ascent on Global Esports against Global Esports, they played this combination on attack, especially where both of them were kind of on the back lanes, right? They let the remaining three make the moves, while these two were holding down not just for pushes, but if they're exploring A, one of them holds down B, one of them holds down mid. As a controller, you want to be doing that. Give the smokes for your team, but as the Astra, you have the freedom to move around anywhere on the map and give that. So both of these guys have a little bit more of a passive role on the team, unless and when it's required for them to push up. But I think Nats and Moji are more of a combination that can prove to be fatal against the side of Bleed Esports, and they need to be careful against them on defense, especially because Moji as a Sentinel is amazing. Nat supporting him with that utility of Astra is just a great combination. And if you add Del B into that combination where he just moves straight in, finds people in between gravity walls, and does not even let them think, it's just a team that functions a lot on utility and teamwork based on what they have their controller and Sentinel to be, because the Killjoy is also played by Moji multiple times, and we know what a dangerous combination the Killjoy and Astra are. You love it as well, I know that. So yeah, Alter Ego definitely a force to be reckoned with. Bleed Esports need to be careful about how they are going to be playing on their attack.
But now you mentioned that the Killjoy and the Astra usually like to stay on the back lines and keep themselves alive. I think that if this is something that they do on the defensive side, then it could work wonders. Killjoy
Yeah.
and Astra are really, really important for post-plant situations. And the whole Lockdown and Cosmic Divide combination, we know it works like a charm. If they are actually staying alive up until the very end, this could be great. We saw Global
Indeed.
Esports struggle for the exact same reason. Every time they had a Killjoy in their team, one player would mostly die, and usually it's when the Killjoy has the lockdown available on her. So that's like a very costly life. Let's take a look at the map video of this particular series, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that these teams will be playing to their strengths. So when Breeze pick up Alter Ego, they are not kidding. I mean, the last time we saw them play Breeze was against Global Esports, and they beat them 13-3.
Yeah, that is true. Breeze is one of Alter Ego's good maps, I believe. They are a team that takes over, that open spaces. They like to push in sometimes, with Del B especially. And they want to put the pressure on the opponent because, first of all, that's a lot of map control to have. I think with the amount of space that even though, your opponent takes over the site, you still have a lot of room to play with because of the amount of openings that, this the Breeze map has, especially on the
Mhm.
A side, I believe, because you have, when you're coming in from defender side spawn, you've got two avenues right there. One is the bridge and one is down below. So that's two angles you can hold. And not to forget, we have halls where the door is, and also you have two openings on towards A main itself. One's halls and one is the main side as well. So there's a lot of map control on Breeze just because of how open it is to be taken by both attack and by defense, both for post plant and for retake. But Alter Ego, they thrive on that. And even though, they are not given the map control that they would want, they're not really uncomfortable by it. They are okay with
Mm.
it because they play more like a team, like I said earlier, right? They keep their controller alive until the last, at least they try to, for as long as possible, because Nats is an important player for them. And on Breeze, Del B absolutely opened up last time against Global Esports. So if he's going to be able to replicate that form again here with his operator, there should be no problem for Alter Ego but taking the first map.
All right, so Breeze definitely seems to be the strength of Alter Ego. But then we go into Bind, which honestly could be anyone's game, and even Haven for that matter. It Both of these maps are somewhat neutral. We have seen Bleed Esports play Ascent and Split. Now, Ascent and Split are both very puggish maps, and so is Bind. So by the law of equation, maybe you can say that Bind can be picked up by Bleed Esports, and then we go on to map number 3. This series might be a 3-mapper. But then again, we haven't seen them play Bind in this tournament so far, so we can't really say. We can only assume that they are decent at puggish maps, and because they're good at micromanagement, they should be able to deal with the ever-changing, ever-adapting map of Bind. But that's, again, just an assumption. You really can't take my word for it. Haven, on the other hand, we have seen Alter Ego play this one. And against Global Esports, Alter Ego were able to win Haven, but it was 13-11, a rather close scoreline. And that too, what happened was that Alter Ego was in a situation where they were about to lose this one. Global Esports almost had that map in the bag. And at the very last moment, they broke Global Esports' economy. And that's how Alter Ego was able to win Haven. But it came down to some really, really important rounds, some really clutch situations. If those did not roll in the favor of Alter Ego, then they would have probably lost that game, and they would have been the ones in the lower bracket. Global Esports would have been here instead. So yeah, Haven seems to be a little iffy territory for Alter Ego. Not really sure how Bleed Esports is going to react to Haven being picked up. again, because we haven't seen them play it in this tournament. We might have seen their performances in the previous matches, but then in other series, but those are all too old, and back then KO did not even exist. So you really can't judge what the meta was like. You can't judge them on the performances from back then. But yeah, Haven seems to be mm, a little iffy for the side of Alter Ego, so I think Bleed Eastwood should have a decent enough time, assuming they do pick a bind and we go to map number 3.
Yeah, that is true. I think bind is I've seen this multiple times. A lot of people have told me as well that bind is apart from split, bind is the strongest map for the side of Bleed Esports.
There
They
you go.
have they are comfortable with the way they play on bind a lot more than they are on either map. And Ascent, like we mentioned, is a little bit it sometimes it could go either way, but Alter Ego definitely have their own issues with it. And that's a little bit of a similarity that we could probably relate to them with Velocity. They also have problems on Ascent, and
Mhm.
one of these teams is bound to face them in case they lose, right? So we're gonna have to wait and see what that's gonna be like. But if you do consider Bind, I want to see what their lineup is gonna be. Are they gonna be taking a double? Duelist? Are they going to go for the usual double controller, double initiator, single duelist? There's a lot of iterations. Do they play a sentinel on this map or not? If there's a killjoy involved by just any chance of sorts, we're gonna have to find out. But first map here is what we're gonna focus on, and it is Breeze. And Breeze, well, Alter Ego, they are so far they've looked like the kings of it. Bleed, we've not really seen them on Breeze. And they want to maybe make a mark here. They are looking to beat Alter Ego, which, by the way, we know is a much stronger team, at least on paper. We would say so. So I'm really interested to see what exactly is going to be the composition of Bleed Esports on Breeze. Is it going to be the usual? Because we do end up seeing, the Viper is there. We have the Cypher, if at all, the Sova, Sky, and not to forget, we have the Jet. So
Yeah.
there is different iterations. We know that sometimes instead of the Cypher, it is subbed out for maybe, if you want to go for a Brimstone of sorts, if you want to go, I don't know. But so far, the agent selection looks like what we would expect it to be. Cyphers on both sides. It's exactly as we expected.
Yeah, but I'm actually surprised that most of these players, while they do have Viper, I thought there would be a secondary controller as well in both of
Hmm.
these teams. But with that lacking, I think these guys are going to have to rely on a lot of information. They do have 2 initiators on each side, so that's not a problem. Information hopefully should not be a concern for any of them. What I'm more worried about is how do you sell fake information? That's what's more important. The rotation time in Breeze is extremely long, and if you manage to successfully
Hmm.
sell out the fake to your opponent, then you can guarantee that they'll take at least a year to get to their designated defending spots. So I think
True.
that could be important. But with the lineups being almost similar, not even almost similar, literally similar on both the sides, let's see where this goes. We have Bleed starting on the defense and Alter Ego starting on attack. Let's jump into the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and we are going to be jumping in game in just a bit. But the thing about I do want to figure out what exactly is going to be the game plan of Bleed, because the one thing that I think, the one variable that they need to really focus on stopping, it has to be Del B. That one guy on attack is an absolute maniac if let loose, and if he is able to find his groove early on in this game, it is going to be a problem. Now, I don't know if you've watched as much game of Alter Ego apart from the Global Esports one, but how do you stop a player like Delby? Like, because I know the Cypher tripwires are good, but if he's got support like the way his team already does support him, how do you stop a player like Delby? Because I think he's gonna make the difference today.
Isolate and exterminate. Get that support away from him. No matter how good of a player you are, you will not be able to survive if you get double peaked or triple peaked, especially when you don't have the backup from your teammates. So I think if they can force out these errors from their opponents, if they can force out all these kind of peaks where one person is alone, where the other one does not have a trade angle on him or something like that, then I think you can win. And even then, the strongest of the strongest teams will not be able to win if they get double, triple peaked, and they don't do it in return.
True, that is true. As we are loading into the game, ladies and gentlemen, small little technical issues that we are fixing. Do not worry. We will be into the game soon. And both of these teams are from the SEA region, so we are going to be playing on the Singapore server. As you would have seen the post that we have put up, there was a lot of vetoes and stuff that was pertaining to the servers. But yeah, we are playing on the Singapore server on this one. So both these teams, will be playing in their home server now. Usually, if you look at Alter Ego's play style, you see that they have this sort of play. Like I said, two people, they try to stay on the back lines. That's Moji and Nats, and the remaining three try to make it work. Now, those are the guys who are, the two of them are initiators. That's the Sky and the Sova, along with the Jet. That's Delby. Now, how important is the double initiator setup on this map? Do you think it's always needed for a Sky and Sova to be there, or can you somehow swap it out for another duelist? For example, if Reyna is being thrown into this mix.
I think the reason why Sky is important on this one is because you need to set up your Jet for success. Now, usually Breach, Flash, and Dash combo is something that most Jet players will think is ideal. That's what they think is the best flasher. But in this game, Sky can get into those angles where a normal Breach won't be able to get inside, or maybe Reyna won't be able to get inside. First of all, you've got the Leer, which can be broken in like 4 shots. And with this being such a massive map, the Leer is effective to some extent, but if you're going up close and personal, like let's say if you're pushing down the elbow, or if you're getting into the corners of the B side, the back of it, then the Leer itself is not going to help you get all those angles clear. Yeah, but a Sky Flash definitely can. So I guess you can use the Sky to set up your Jet for success, and then use the Sova to do the actual information hunting. Plus, not to mention, this map is very open. There's not too many places to hide. There's not so many angles that you can come up with. So once Sova, if he gets his Hunter's Fury and he uses it to initiate into a site, then he can clear out all the common angles. And I mean each and every one of them, because there's not too many of them in the first place. Plus, if you try to dodge the Hunter's Fury while you're behind a rock or something, keep in mind that you will end up exposing yourself. The covers are tiny, and most of the time you have this one pillar, at least let's say, for example, the B side. There's this one central pillar, and you just play around that to isolate the angles and hopefully get 1v1 duels for yourself. If you're on the back side, there's limited angles where you can peek. If you're defending the B side, then you can only peek towards the arches, or you can peek towards the link at one at a time. And if you're in some very unfortunate spot, you will be exposed from both those areas at the same time. So you need to make sure that you don't get caught out in such open areas like that. But Sova is incredibly good at making you come out in the open. So yeah, you'd really have to force your opponents to make those errors. You can use one of the initiators to set up your duelist for success, or you can use the Sky as a mini recon dart as well. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But I think the actual information hunting job will be given to Sova, while the Sky continues to probably set up flashes and probably set up the fights, not the information hunting.
Yeah, that is true. Now, we have seen a couple of times, a Brimstone also being added into the mix. I think we've seen that a long while ago. I barely, just scarcely, seen Amaterasu pick it up from Velocity. When they used the Brimstone as a double controller setup for this map, which is the Viper, Brimstone, the Sova, the Sky, and the Jet. But hey, all of that is for speculation, because we don't really have a Brimstone here. And we don't have any other agents apart from the ones that are equal on both sides. So as we move in the game, ladies and gentlemen, here is Bleed Esports going up against Alter Ego.
Bleed versus Alter Ego, and we're about to begin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what these guys have in store. For now, the attackers are on a little bit of a default. You have one person outside of A main, but Bleed Frosty's already starting things up, murdering one more player towards elbow, and another one could be a possibility, but Kush brings it back. First blood has been drawn. Back to a 4v4. Now, honestly, Universe in a 4 versus 4 situation, I think on a map like Greece, the ground kind of favors the attackers. You see, the defenders have to spread themselves thin, and there's too many areas to be covered by just 4 people. The attacker, on the other hand, can always roll up together and hit a site with full force, all 4 men.
Yeah, that is true. Enable. He expects somebody to be on. I know Lexi's already been hit, and I think he expects him to come out towards that right side. But the flash actually blinds his own teammate and nothing more. Here goes another one, and now they know there's somebody there. But Moji, he gets caught off guard. Lexi's gonna find him, and that's gonna be a little difficult for the attackers. They've lost another, and Lexi's already been healed up. Man advantage taken for the defenders, as the side of Alter Ego are now hesitant to run into this site. 30 seconds left. What are you gonna do at this point? There's not much you can do. You can't even rotate. There's not enough time to go to the B site, but they're still attempting it.
Well, they better put on their running shoes, their Nikes, their Adidas's, everything has to be thrown into the mix, and they must get to the B site quickly. And they can't even do that. They will have to pass through the snake bite and the poison cloud, which is going to make them extremely vulnerable. 4 seconds left. They need to stick this plant, and if the planter dies, that's the end of the round. Oh, just style points right now.
Oh my god, Crescenia.
Those kills were unnecessary, but of course, Crescenia gets them every single day. You don't just have to defeat your opponents by winning the round. You have to absolutely break their spirit. That's what Crescenia believes in over here. With such nutty shots, and of course with Lexi setting up such deadly trap fires, things could start to get difficult for Alter Ego. But hey, this is just a pistol. I think they can tank this loss and then probably go for a full buy in the third round. That's when they'll probably hit back.
Well, they do have a semi-buy of sorts, a couple of pistols, a little bit of maybe something to work with, but as soon as I say that, First Love is gonna take out an easy kill into Del B. Kush is just jumping around, maybe trying to distract a little bit, but no more information. He spots both the initiators, and that's about it. Bleed still have a good amount of time to play with. They don't really need to make Alter Ego feel the pressure because they need the bomb site, not Bleed. Bleed can just hold on, play on retakes even if required. As Jarpik spots out one, he is down low to 58 HP, and that is going to take him out. But immediately, Crescenia with the trade, looking for the other one, struggles to find it through the cage.
I hope Bleed Esports can keep their Vandal player alive. If this is the one weapon they lose in this round, it could be expensive. Nicely dodged flash. That reflex, amazing. Of course, against a bunch of classics and sheriffs, the Vandal obviously has a better chance of winning, but still, they keep it nice and tight. They don't lose too many players. And the two players they do lose only had Marshals and Spectres, so it's not that big of a problem. The Vandal's still alive. Hopefully this Vandal can provide dividends in the next round as well. It's going to be one of the only weapons that they have. Whereas Alter Ego will have everything. Phantoms, Vandals, full armor too, except for Kush. He's the only player on light armor this time. I think, to some extent, Alter Ego also did a good enough job in these 2 rounds, spreading across the entire map and figuring out what the defense of Bleed Esports look like. Whether they go towards A, mid, or B, they always took their sweet time. So that will probably help them out. And now that Alter Ego are starting to gear up outside of B, if they hit this timing right, this could be amazing. There's only one player defending this area, and that's Crescenia. He's in danger right now. The Jet is already snuck past him, but he turns around, flicks onto Del B. Everyone's peeking through the Poison Cloud and the Snake Bite, which means they're vulnerable. 2 bullets to the body are enough to deal with them. Nats finally deals with the Toxin Screen ban, but Crescenia alone is not enough. They need to find more, and they can't find anything. Jopix is already pushed out of elbow. Spike dropped, Vandal upgraded. Oh, but he gives up a 1v1. This could be a chance. Moji has the opportunity to pick up the spike and run away from this spot. And the only person who can probably stop him is the Sova. He can gather information towards Link if he does, but okay, Moji still decides to peek them dry. And that's the buy round going in the favor of Bleed. I really thought Moji will take it slow. He had a lot of options over there. If he somehow snuck past this area and went towards the A side immediately, I think he could have beat them to the race. He could have even gone for the plant. And then the only thing that could probably stop him is an advanced recon dart from First Love towards the A side while he was still on the B area. So, you know, you have to pull out those lineups in order to get information. But no, Moji does neither of that. And with this, they are back to an eco. Sheriffs and Marshals on the board for Alter Ego.
There's not much they can do now. Bleed Esports have taken a healthy first half lead, which could be made 4-0 now. And that is a early domination being showed. And against what we saw from Alter Ego against Global Esports a couple of matches ago, this is completely different. They're not able to keep up with the speed of Bleed Esports. And even though they're on defense, it's not like, you know, the side of Bleed are giving pressure in terms of pushing out everywhere. They're holding, waiting to see where the side of Alter Ego is coming, and then they put the pressure.
Exactly. And they don't even like push. The only aggressive positioning that Bleed Esports like to take is probably playing out of B Link and maybe towards mid. You know, and that too isn't that deep. The max they will do is probably try to stay near the edge of elbow, and after they get a kill, they'll fall back. Most of their positioning towards mid also just relies on stopping the players of Alter Ego from going towards the wooden double doors. That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's not like Bleed Esports are playing very aggressively that they're taking away map control. Although, things are about to get even sweatier this time around. Damage dealt with the shock darts, Viper Pit deployed on the B side. Christina doesn't want to take any chance. He wants to funnel all these players towards the A side or towards mid, but oh my goodness, Delp tapping away. Those are two incredibly important kills, and now he's got control of A-halls. He can pressure the A side from that position. He's on a triple kill right now. What's going on? Someone stop this man, single-handedly tearing up the entire opposition. It's not like he had a tactical advantage in that area. No, sir, he did not. He only had his trusty Vandal and his mouse. And Christina has been detected by all sorts of utility. So,
oh, poor guy.
Sky, all of them just dumping all the utility at him. And oh, there you go. That's another feather in the cap of Delby. Kush jumping around the double door region, setting up bait. And the moment he peeks out, there's Delby up on the high ground. An angle which you can't really flick to. Well, if it keeps on popping off like this, then I'm starting to feel a lot more secure about Alter Ego's future. Although I must say, this round was nothing but individual heroics. It's not very sustainable. He can't pull it off again and again. Like, all the frags that Delby was able to get were simply by dry peeking. He never had any support from his teammates. No tactical advantage either. He can't pull off stuff like this again and again. Sure, he can get a quad kill in this round, but every round? No, sir. I don't think so.
That is going to be a difficult task. At least maybe he would hope for one. I mean, he would hope for a quad kill. He would hope for an ace every round, but that's not going to be the case. Delb. He's trying to explore every single angle he can, looking towards mid to see if somebody's pushing up yet again. This time, the side of Bleed are a little careful. There is only one little bit of an aggressive position that we can see the Sky is holding up, and that is Jarpix, which he's been playing since the beginning of this game. And now it could be a Sky versus Sky battle. And Jarpix taps Enable with just 2 bullets coming out of his barrel. And the Seekers have been deployed immediately as a response to that. From the same team, actually. And First Love, oh, he spots out ahead and goes away immediately. Maybe trying to bait out for his team.
No. Okay, one very important thing just happened. We do not have Moji detected by the Seekers, so this could be an important frag. Moji does get the kill on Jarpix, but unfortunately his teammates have already died towards the ace side, so he can't really make a difference this late in the round. If this was just a couple of seconds early, the whole situation would have been incredibly important for Alter Ego, because then they would have had the potential to clutch it. But maybe with Moji still alive, they can't do it. How? He's about to get double peeked. It's just Frosty's left. 13 seconds. He just needs to stay alive for a little bit longer. And he pulls out the stylish frags. This whole round is just clip material after clip material. Moji winning his duels when he had absolutely no business doing so. Triple kill for him. And just when I was starting to think that's impressive, here comes the
click hit. Wait, how did that right click hit? That was so far away. There was a huge metal contraption covering half his body. Okay, then right click. Supremacy, all right, so that suddenly is back in the meta. You know, I mean, even there's times where it doesn't even connect if you're literally looking at somebody dead in the face 1 inch away, but this connects. Okay.
Hey man, what can I say? That is just a Frosty's diff. That's just Frosty, man. That's just how he uses his blades. Plus, you have to give him the benefit of doubt. His enemy was pretty low on HP, so yeah, even if a single blade hits, it's fine. He had all 5, so one of them has to, you know, stick in the body of his opponent. Plus, even if he did not connect that shot, let's say he missed, he would have still been able to clutch out the round for his team. You know, there was not too much time left. 13 seconds were on the clock when he started to fight them. So all he really needed to do was just buy some time. Maybe stay alive long enough for his teammate to come over there. That's the only thing. And if that
Yeah,
was possible, then I think Bleed would have still been able to win the round if it wasn't for the side distractions from Frosty. Although Moji winning those 3 duels, I'm not really sure how all 3 were letting this happen. I mean, first it was Del B with a quad kill who, on his individual heroics, was able to win a round. Moji, on the basis of his individual heroics, almost got it. If it wasn't for Frosty, this probably would have been their round. But
yeah.
again, they can't keep on relying on individual performances. Delby and Moji, there's only so much that they can do all by themselves. They need the backup of their teammates, and everyone needs to stay together.
True. I think that Alter Ego are really feeling the pressure on their own map. Starting off, that third round, especially the buy round, that should have been theirs. They had such an early 3K go against them. Cresania got those 2 kills when they were trying to run in through that poison orb and snake bite, and they just wanted to burst out of the side, expecting maybe it's not going to be a total gunfight because the opponent would be on the bonus, but Cresania had a Vandal. And that was more than enough to shut them down completely. And the third kill came in from Jarpix as well. And that was going to be the end of that round. And because of that, the pressure built on. Number 5 came up now. 5-1. We are, in the favor of Bleed Esports. And Alter Ego, individual brilliance is working a little bit. You can see it. They're getting that 4K. Now Moji making up for that 3K. But that was all it was. Individual brilliance is coming out to play, but some of them are still struggling. Even though there's 1 or 2 who are performing, you need that push for the rest of the team as well. Anybody and everybody who can get a minimum of 1 kill, that's all they need. Because I think they could have together pressured on to Frosty, and they would have probably gotten that round for themselves. But as soon as he pulled out those knives, he was lucky to have them, to be honest. Because if he did not have those knives, I don't think he would have gotten that round.
I agree. Those knives were clutch. Plus, if you're able to get 2 kills with those knives, it's just simply amazing. You get the round, and at the cost of an ultimate, which doesn't even impact the round that much. I mean, let's be honest. There are more important ultimates in this lineup. The Seekers, the Neural Theft, the Hunter's Fury is so much more impactful. The knives are only as a secondary crutch. Back with the game now. The flash that Jarpix threw out does detect 1 person towards the B side, and that's going to be Moji. That's the only one that's spotted. Hunter's Fury committed, and that's towards the other side. That's towards A. So at this point, Bleed Esports, they know that Alter Ego are hitting both these areas, so they need to just hold their ground.
Oh,
at least mid's been dealt with, so that's 1 less problem to worry about. But they still know Nats is over here. They've also spotted out the Cypher over here just a couple of seconds ago, so I'm not really sure how much information Bleed have on that one. But Moji about to sneak into the B side. This timing could be very important. He can actually catch Frosties off guard. And with this, he's even got Jarpix. B side's liberated. Now the Viper utility comes through. That could have been a little early, to be honest, but at least they can still transport the spike to safety. Can they, though? So picking it up. And I think they've got this in the bag. Yeah, they definitely do. 2v2.
Yeah, Lexi on the backstab is in a good position. He's probably not going to be hurt even if he jumps down. I'm not quite sure. If he's hurt. But no, they've already taken the Cresania. Now they have an idea. Moji spots him out as well. And that's probably going to be number 2 for Alter Ego. Unless Lexi has something to say. They're just playing around with him, toying. But he goes for 1. He actually kills Moji behind Kush. That is something that I didn't expect. I thought Kush is going to probably die and then he would be traded out. But all right, that's one way to go. Alter Ego bring up their second thanks to Moji's lurk.
And Moji's been so successful with this lurk. He kind of had to bait his teammate Delby for it. Not gonna lie, that was a little cheeky. But what's done is done. Delby went up once again all by himself, peeking Jarpix, offering him a 1v1 fair fight. And of course, you're never supposed to offer your opponent fair fights unless you love them or something. I'm pretty sure that's not what the feeling that these teams share. But once again, you have to consider the fakes that these guys were using. You had Kush commit his Hunter's Fury towards the A side while everyone else head towards mid and B. That kind of fakes can throw off Bleed, and you need to start doing that more. But Frosty's already picks up Moji. That's the dangerous lurker dealt with. Now where do you go?
Delb knows that Lexi's towards stairs, and he's been constantly pointing it out to his team. And you can see they try to pre-fire here, and Lexi, he's playing the door game with his opponent. They've entered in the site though, so that's a good thing. Jarpix goes in for the kill, but his Spectre is not going to be good enough to face off against the Vandals. But First Love with the shock dart, and Lexi with one with his Phantom is going to make sure that this round is not going towards Alter Ego, that they don't even get a plan. And that's going to be number 6 for the side of Bleed Esports. They are doing a great job of holding down the line here. They're really patient.
Caution here.
They are kind of patient, but I also have to say that Alter Ego are not. This was the first time I saw Nats commit his toxin screen before his team actually entered the site. Before that, what Alter Ego were doing is just creeping up mid, trying to get those picks individually, and after they decide where to go, which is somewhere like when there's 30-40 seconds left in the round and the situation's already a 2v3, that's when they have Nats use his toxin screen. Unlike most Vipers, he does not put down his screen right at the start of the round. He saves it. And sure, you can say that it's cool because you can't really have the Vipers committing their utility too early in the game. They need to be a little more versatile. But let's be honest, they need a little bit of security. And if Alter Ego keep on working without their toxin utility, I think they could be in for a lot of trouble. Sometimes their lurks work, but you can't rely on them too much. Like I said, they're not sustainable, and they need to start going for more executes because clearly this lurk approach isn't really working for them.
Yeah, I think Alter Ego are being a little bit too cautious. I think they need to let loose because Bleed Esports are, to be honest, Bleed Esports are playing really free. I don't see that much pressure on their shoulders, but Alter Ego are feeling, wow, what a recon, dude. Wow,
no.
What a recon, and what a Hunter's Fury to follow it up. First Love finds one, Chrysania, the utility champions, Bleed Esports here, finding 2 kills without even having to see their opponents.
And I'm even more surprised to figure out how Chrysania was able to get that kill. Sure, the Hunter's Fury can be a devastating weapon when the recon dot reveals literally everybody on your team, but for Chrysania to get a kill, you need to have someone step into it. And whether or not someone goes in, there's already a backstab coming through.
Wow, Jarpix.
Oh my god, take my heart away. These guys already won it.
Damn.
So many clean rounds by Bleed Esports. The Hunter's Fury, impeccable. And then this, both of them lining up. That's just, it just makes me want to throw a chef's kiss at him. That's perfect.
That goes there. Oh, this is a nice spot.
Absolutely beautiful from Bleed Esports, and they are giving the treatment to Alter Ego, what was given by Alter Ego to Global Esports. With that flash, Jarpix is going to get a little bit of information for his team. Kush is going to throw in his Owl Drone, and a flash following that, but Chrysania deals with Delp, who tries to rush into the site all alone, and that is a mistake. I really did not understand the thought process behind that.
So, there was a flash, so they thought maybe they could peek through the flash and hopefully he would get a kill. Nah,
also, there was an Owl Drone, right? So they were looking at what's happening.
Agreed. And now Moji can look no more through his cameras or through any of his utility. Instead, Alter Ego heading towards A. And of course, there's Lexi waiting for them. They know at least the position of one of these trap wires towards the right-hand side, but what about the other ones? Nats hasn't used his toxin screen yet. They're gonna have to go and try. And with them getting revealed through the cameras, I think this will start to be a little difficult for them. But somehow, Frosty's able to get one. Even though they lose Lexi, this situation is still doable. The Seekers reveal their positions, but that's not a problem. They can break them before they actually enter the site, and there's plenty of time. The toxin screen now actually allows more people to cross into its A main, hopefully buying a little bit of a post-spawn situation for them, but Bleed has just too many men. They have too much blood to spare.
Indeed. Oh, time's going a little bit far. He wants to pick up the upper Jarpix.
Yeah, he should be able to get the defuse, no problem about that.
Should think so as well.
Yeah. He's got this, not a problem.
Sometimes you get a little scared in situations like this.
Don't even
Okay,
Yeah.
3 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Never
Pretty
mind.
comfortable, man. Pretty comfortable. We've seen people clutch out in the last millisecond, so yeah, this is still fine. Either way,
Totally.
did you notice the way Nats was using his toxin screen? He used it after the plant went down. He didn't use it to cover his team while they were entering the site.
Yeah.
He put down one poison cloud a little closer towards the drop region and then the toxin screen horizontally. I think what the toxin screen allowed Alter Ego to do is fall back safely towards A main from where they could defend the spike. But only Nats tried to go into
Deploying drone.
that fighting, not really doing them all that much good.
No more charges
So-
left.
Or at least they figured out where the camera is.
Yeah. Lexi playing with his food right now. He knows it's an eco. Oh my god, the flick. Beautiful. Delb eats it straight to the face, and now Lexi, he's more than confident to hold down the side for himself. Lexi with another, and this eco has been rid to nothing. Not a single kill for these
No.
boys of Alter Ego. Kush, he's struggling, and Sharpix is playing around with him. He wanted to go in for the knife, but Frosty's, he's more fond of his Shardy getting a kill. And number 9 comes up for bleed. I did not expect this at all.
You have to consider the amount of bad manners on Bleed. Carpet bombing him with the birds and the flashes and everyone towards him with just their shorties and their knives out. Well, I wouldn't really expect anything else from a team that has such a significant lead. 9-2. With the potential 9-3, maybe even 10-2. Bleed Esports certainly in the driving seat right now. Recon out broken, so no information given out, but they know there's at least one person present in this region. At least Bleed Esports can still make sure that they keep Alter Ego on their bad habits. They keep Alter Ego in their default spread out so that they can't cluster up and hit a particular site. But the moment I say that, that's exactly what Alter Ego are doing. Take a look at the B side. All the attackers stacked outside of it, and they're about to hit this one. The only person who could probably stop it is Crusadia. Please don't tell me there's a wall bang. No, there's not. That would have been insane.
I would have lost my mind if that would have happened. Well, there's just a 1 towards A as everybody makes their way towards B. Frosty's trying to find a kill with his knives. Not going to happen. The Hunter's Fury comes in, though, from the attackers. And Kush, he takes down Crusadia. No problemo. As they look for the third, they really need it. They desperately wanted Alter Ego. They've done a little bit of the first step of the work for it. Frosty moving in. He's looking for an opening, but that neural theft is going to be a problem. Lexi finds one. 3 versus 2. Bleed Esports losing men, but they pull it right back. First Love with another. 1 versus 2. First Love, the shot onto Nats. He's got a third. He needs the fourth, but I think time's far too gone, and so is his angle of peeking.
Oh, Alter Ego. What a difficult round to pull off, but they do it nonetheless. It all depended on the success of Delby. So this man, he snuck up the brown halls. He activated the button over there, which opened up the metal door, which is the only thing that forced the players of Bleed Esports to rotate back towards the A site and leave B. The moment Crusadia was off the site, Nats, with a very huge amount of bravery, waltzed in and activated his Viper's Pit. And keep in mind that he walked in dry. He had absolutely no idea what kind of people or what kind of resistance he'll find on the other side, but he knew that if they want to win, he has to get in there and deploy that Viper's Pit. That's the first time that Alter Ego did that in the entire half, and it results in a round win.
Revealing area.
Like I said, they needed a little bit of bait on their own teammate in order to make this one successful, but they get it nonetheless. Plenty of fights happening on mid and elbow. Swarms of people heading down the narrow tunnels, and the backstab comes through almost immediately. But Moji wins these battles. There's no way you beat him in this one. But still, it's just a 1v3. Lexi all by himself. Nobody else approaching him and his deadly nets. But he can feel the map shrink around him. At least he's able to get one, but now his position's revealed. Barely any HP left. What does he do?
Well, he's got one avenue to go to, that's for sure, and that's elbow to pick up the spike, which has been left alone by the defenders, by the way. Oh, he spots out one. The camera placement helps him out. And it's not even been taken down yet. He's still a little careful. He's got time.
Hmm.
40 seconds. Not picked up the spike yet. He's so far away from it. And Nats is going to punish him for being in that mid-region. I really, really love the effort he put in. But I think if Lexi would have straight gone in for the spike, maybe he would have had a different chance at winning this one out.
Yeah, and it's not like Bleed were defending that spike either, no? I'm sorry, not Bleed. Alter Ego were defending that spike.
Yeah,
No,
they weren't.
not.
They just left it alone.
Yeah, they left it alone. This could have been around for Lexi. He's been fairly successful with his lurks so far. Much more successful than Moji, but although I must say, some of these lurks from Moji really threw a ringer in the Bleed's boot camp, so that was different. The fakes that these guys are doing, Alter Ego, they were working in the first half. Let's see how much more they can boil out in the second one.
So far, so good. The first kill has been taken as Alter Ego look to make their comeback happen with the cursed scoreline. Enable finds Lexi onto elbow, and that should clear up anything towards the B side. There's nothing there anymore. Every player from the side of Bleed now making their way towards halls. They're just waiting here to maybe let First Love get some sort of an avenue to work with. But the one thing they don't know
Right here.
is that there's a Cypher right next to the
Right here.
door that they're going to be peeking towards, and that's Moji. And he is going to be a grinding machine here. No, he gets only one. Jarpex finds the trade immediately. Now he has a Spectre to work with. Drop as many weapons as possible. That's all that their mission is right now. But Kush is not going to let that happen. First Love picks up the secondary weapon on the ground, but there's nothing that he can do more except for dying. Bleed give away another round, and now their first buy should come in, and this is Alter Ego's test.
I like the fact that Bleed were able to get all the way towards the bottom of the brown halls before they finally died. Look how much information it gives them. They figured out where Frosties likes to play from. They also figured out what will the response be from the side of Alter Ego if they start to press the buttons. They figured out where the Cypher likes to lay his traps. All of this from just one eco round, and I think that's plenty of information. Bleed should have enough in their bag to make this buy round work for them. But take a look at the positioning of Delby. He's using that Toxin screen to use all the map control that he can get. I mean, this is ridiculous. That Toxin screen was deployed by his teammate Nats, but it just wasn't activated ever. And that kinda gave Bleed a false sense of security, thinking that nobody will push. And that's how Delby's able to get up there, get a frag, and then get back to safety as well. Now, that's just brain games right there from the side of Alter Ego. Nats using his Toxin screen but not activating it. Who would have ever expected someone to still push with the Toxin screen down? Lexi looking to make things normal. As he heads up elbow, his teammates are busy fighting on the A site. And these fights are just as deadly as they can get. They're also pretty sweaty because it's kind of reached a deadlock right now with both the attackers towards the pyramids. They need to somehow break this one, and break they do. Nat still swinging. Double kill for this man with the Spectre, just running and gunning across the board. But Lexi has now been discovered. Enable has barely 1 HP left.
30 seconds
One
left.
bullet worth of health points. The only person who can save him is the other Cypher. So this has to be a Cypher versus Cypher duel, with Enable probably acting as bait.
He is looking for some sort of a flash and peek mechanism with his teammate, but the time's running far too much for Alexi to run this. There's the ultimate, and there's the player. He spots him out, but he has no time. He needs to kill him. The plan's definitely not going to go down. Lexi has taken too much time for his own good, and that's going to cost number 6 for Alter Ego. It doesn't matter, even if they lose all the players. All they wanted was the round. And now they're going to be able to reinvest with the money they've got. And the full buy comes in for their side again.
Moji also with quite the presence of mind, deploying a Cyber Cage right there instead of fighting his opponent. I mean, he knew that Lexi does not have time, so it's either lose the round or come and fight Moji and kill him right away, because there's no way he would have been able to plant the spike. That Cyber Cage discourages Lexi from pushing him, and he's run out of options. It was 9-3, keep in mind. But with Alter Ego winning the first 3 rounds, this has turned into a very competitive 9-6. And of course, Delby hit shots like those, keeping it even more competitive, bringing it closer. They've got control of this region. With this, they should be able to find Chrysania, but no. Chrysania? What a shot.
He can find Moji. No, Moji's gonna get the better of him in terms of angles. He pushed up and Cresenia did not expect that, and now Jarpix, he wants to jump over the tripwire. Nope, he has to break it, and now they know where he is.
What's the deal? I mean, why does it even matter? The spike is all the way in attacking spawn. The defenders reach the attacking spawn with more than a minute still left on the clock. That just tells you everything you need to know about alter ego aggression. They literally walked out mid and Brown Halls at the same time and just took the fight to Bleed Esports. It's like they were the attackers this time around. Alter ego pushing something that most defenders don't really do. I mean, sure, I can see defenders pushing up mid. We've seen that plenty of times, but mid and Brown Halls? All the players? Alright then, that's just a bit too aggressive from Alter Ego. Let's see if they can keep up this thing.
Well, it looks like they could really bring it back to a 9-9 scoreline, and the curse is probably going to hit him real hard. Bleed need to be careful, and now both the Jets are literally crosshairs away from each other, and it's gonna be Frosty to win that duel. The Jet diff is gonna be restored for Bleed Esports, as they have an advantage of men.
And this was an important pick too. Delb has been getting into these really awkward angles which make Bleed check their backs twice and thrice, and it's still not enough. It also keeps them centered. So with Delb out of this picture, they can still continue hitting this B-side without the worry of getting backstabbed. But no, they can't afford to get tagged by recon dots like this, lest they get shot through the toxin screen. At least Jarpix kills Moji, so that's elevating pressure from the B-side. But still, they need to hold on to this post plant. Now, while the odds certainly seem to be in the favor of Bleed Esports, Alter Ego still can throw a ringer. No, not when Frosty's doing shots like those. And Enable's getting pushed through the walls. I mean, his guts are getting pumped full of lead. There's a 5-man shooting gallery and everyone's aiming for him. One tag and no wall is enough to save you.
What a round. That was really, really needed. Bleed Esports. They've done a good job in the first half, and they struggled in the first bit of the second half. Now, the one way that you usually I'm not quite sure if they are that aware of the curse being hit, but are they?
I don't know, man. I'm not one to believe in
curse?
superstitions, but I do believe in Delb. Oh my goodness! Disgusting from First Love! This is love at first sight for me. I'm in love with this man already. What on earth was that? Nat's keeping it competitive. That's a spike down. He can't afford to push any further. There's two people ready to peek him at the same time. And that's exactly what I was afraid of. He was so busy looking for at First Love. Cresenia gets the shot onto him. And Lexi bringing it closer. 1 point away from map. And Alter Ego really need to step it up right now. Sure, their aggressive tactics were giving them everything that they needed so far. It got them the first 4 rounds of the half, but they've lost the last 2 rounds, and I think it is because of their over-aggression. So maybe it's time to hit the brakes a little bit. Can't blame both the round losses to over-aggression, though. One of them was due to a preemptive rotation, which is more credit due to Bleed rather than taking it away from Alter Ego. Although I must say, Alter Ego have 4 ultimates ready. I'm starting to get nervous over here, Universe. I don't know what these 4 ultimates can do. One of them's already committed. The Viper Spit outside of A hopefully should discourage Bleed from hitting this area. And even if they do go somewhere else, it's Moji who finds out everything that he needs. The Cypher takes his hat off, and the remaining players now offering their heads to him.
Yeah, Delb, there's nothing he can do. Stuck in that corner. Frosty finds Nats, and Delb, although he's got one, the immediate trade back with that shock dart is going to allow Bleed Esports to be in the upper end of this round. But just as I say that, Cresenia, he runs into Moji's tripwires and his bullets. But the one advantage they have got right now is that they're running towards the B side, which is completely empty, by the way. And like you said, Cribs, the rotation takes about 2 years. Oh, nope, Frosty. He wasted 3 of his knives there, which he probably would have wanted to keep for the end of the round. But now they're going to have to work without it. Frosty eats a couple of bullets to his back, gets away, but his teammate's gone to hell. And now he needs to find the kills, but it's not gonna happen. Alter Ego survive.
Alter Ego. Oh my god. How did they pull this round off? It was nearly a thrifty. They had like one gun at the start of the round, everyone else with sheriffs, and they make it work. It works like a charm. 3 of them pushed at mid, 1 outside of Brown Halls, and sure, there was so many trades, and even though Bleed was able to win most of the duels towards Brown Halls, the 2 remaining players then heading towards the B side without getting caught. The Seekers were deployed later on, which basically told Alter Ego everything that they needed to know. But Bleed Esports were already on the side before that happened. Sure, Frosty's losing his Blade Storm to that tripfire was kind of unfortunate, but also a little amusing. I must say, Alter Ego, they pulled this one out of the hat. And quite literally out of the hat, because if it wasn't for Moji's skill, this round would have been done and dusted a long time ago, and Bleed probably would have reached map point.
Well, Bleed Esports, they are not going to have too much of an issue right now. They do have a bye. So they are looking for a little bit of an opening towards B right now. You can see 2 of the players are holding down really far behind. Lexi maybe wants to go up towards elbow. He's thinking about it, but he's just waiting. And maybe he's hoping for somebody from the side of Alter Ego to make a mistake. As Kush, he's exploring mid, and he's going to call this information out to his team. Spots out Jarpix, and with his movement, he is probably going to confer that they are moving towards B, and you can see the rotations on the map immediately happening.
Nice.
Lexi's been fine, and that confirms a lot more. And here we go.
3 defenders already on the B side, ready to rumble. Moji, he's holding this area down like a fort. Hunter's Fury committed to make sure that he gets some added protection, but Lexi, trying to thread the needle, only finds one. Enable and Del bring it back, and Alter Ego are still in this game. In fact, with this one, they might just have broken Bleed's economy. Yes, they have. Only one person has enough money, and that's First Love, and obviously that's not gonna be enough. I love the way how they basically maneuvered Bleed into their own crosshairs. First of all, the recon dot towards the other side of the map. It confirms so much more information. You have the flash also coming in towards the B region later on, towards elbow, and then they find so much more information on the back of it. The rotations from Alter Ego already in place. 3 defenders on B side, ready to rumble over there. And Bleed, they can do nothing. The defenses were just too strong. And sure, I mean, Alter Ego, it did seem like they were the stronger team on this map. But Bleed are starting to prove us wrong. I mean, before this whole thing began, right, we said it, that Alter Ego have played Breeze before and they beat Global Esports 13-3 on it. So naturally, I would have expected Alter Ego are the stronger team over here. But the way Bleed are playing this one just makes me believe in them once more. Although Alter Ego are starting to show why they were the stronger team in the first place, they're starting to inch closer and closer to Bleed. And now that they've broken their economy, there's a good chance that they can tie it up at 11-11.
Yep, that is true. With this eco, Bleed Esports are putting themselves in a tough spot. They're gonna have to let number 10 go away to Alter Ego. And that means that they're gonna have to fight in the last couple of rounds. They're gonna have to push in, force their way through. They look like they want to rush in towards A. This probably is gonna be a, just a blind run out towards A, as a small little technical timeout has come in for the side of Bleed Esports.
Yeah, but if they do go towards the A side, they will need to be extremely careful. Look at the way that Nats has deployed his Toxin screen. It covers the entire A side, it covers the halls as well, and a little bit of the mid region. On mid, what this is going to allow Enable to do is push all the way out and play near elbow without the fear of getting shot. And, he doesn't have to worry about getting back because the angles just don't exist for Enable to get shot. So that's there. Look at exactly why Enable is so confident moving out mid. He just rotates towards the A side without the fear of getting caught, and that's exactly what it does.
No.
Nat's still spraying people down through the Dawson screen. He doesn't even get revealed because of the cloudburst, so they can't fire preemptively, but everyone's falling apart. And the moment they get out of Dawson screen, it's a firing squad awaiting them. Well, at least they got the blunt, so they have like bonus 300 credits.
Yeah.
Hopefully it should help them buy.
I mean, straightforward round. You knew that Alter Ego is gonna win this. Flawless comes in. That's a bonus for them, and they have money to buy in for the next 2 rounds. That is potentially gonna be the last 2 or the last 3 if need be. You know, whatever it is. We just have to wait and see whether or not Bleed Esports are actually gonna be able to bleed out Alter Ego, because all they need right now is 1 round.
Yeah.
They need 1, and that's gonna put the pressure on Alter Ego. And that has to come right now, because if it goes 11-11, it gets a lot more difficult than it already is.
BB Spurs, they have 4 ultimates. This definitely could help them out. If Rosenia gets to the side, he can deploy the Viper Spit and give them so much more room to work with. That's the only thing that they needed. Frosty's dead, but it doesn't matter. The Viper Spit is here. The only thing they need to do is just keep themselves safe from the Hunter's Fury. That's the only thing that can find people inside this big green city. And they're turning it into their own city. They don't want to let anyone through. Enable still getting those shots. What an opening. He gets 2 very important people. The pit's down, and it's just down to Frosties right now. Up against a duel with Delb. Both of them doing somersaults around each other. They literally go around the other side, forcing them to turn 80 degrees. What on earth is this? That's the anime battle that we had been looking for. Both of them tailwinding, updrafting, using their knives against each other.
You know the thing I love the most is that both the skies from, you know, both the teams creeped into enemy lines. Enable went straight towards A main, he found 2 kills. Jarpix went towards Halls and he came down from the bridge and he got 2 kills. So similar things happening at the same time for both these teams. Mirroring images, these teams right now. Even with the jet battles, it was the anime battle. And it was the side of Bleed Esports to come out on top, and now the pressure is mounted upon Alter Ego, and you can see they're trying to find an opening, and Bleed want to finish this up as soon as possible. All 5 of them came in towards B, but they've already lost 1 and they've held back, and Delp takes out another. 5 versus 3. The neural theft also confirms a little bit more, as Delp and Nats are just terrorizing the side of Bleed, and number 11 comes up for them. We go to the final round.
I'm starting to get nervous, Universe. I think
I've been nervous for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess you can welcome me to the club now.
Oh man, this is definitely gonna be a down to. You know, I don't see this why this cannot go to overtime. This most certainly can go to overtime. They have bought in.
I wanted to. I wanted to.
There's nothing that Bleed Esports have to work with, right? You can see they have sheriffs and stuff. What more can you do? This is definitely going to overtime.
Unless they can sneak up and shoot them in the back of their heads. That's probably what Crusadia wants to do.
Oh,
and that's exactly what he done. Oh my goodness. This
finds 2, though 3. First Love will get just to 1, and he's gonna get hit on the back. Moji finds both Lexi and First Love, and that's gonna be overtime, leading the jump, and Bleed Esports' lead has been completely nullified. And even though Alter Ego probably could have made the comeback happen by themselves and take the victory, they're going to be really happy with overtime coming up as well, given that they were 9-3 down.
From 9-3, the 12 fell. You know, stuff like this is what makes people believe that 9-3 is a cursed scoreline. There's a limit to how much superstition that you can believe in, but you know what? I believe in Frosties. He's been hitting some nutty shots, and I kind of want him to do it again. The same goes for Delp. He started off as an individual heroic player whose lurks were helping his team out, but now he's turned into the main source of damage, and Moji has turned into the lurker instead. Sometimes even Enable picks up that responsibility, so, you know, they share it.
Standing ahead.
Going into overtime. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. The first map, and we are starting off in style. Bleed Esports once again on the defensive side. They have a default spread out. 2 on A, 1 on mid, 1 on B. And their 5th person is looking to pick up fights right here.
Boy.
Still leads Del right there. More people to follow through. All of them get funneled towards the right-hand side of the side. Frosty's hoping to use his Cypher as bait, but Ksenia has to take the L. He can't even use that. Frosty's also gets taken down. And the bait is not successful. 3 versus 4. Spike hasn't gone down, but it could anytime soon if Kush manages to get towards the pillar.
Nats
Oh, he
wants
doesn't
the
even need to
ultimate.
do that.
Nat
Yes.
wants the ultimate. And there it is.
Two things. Kush could have never crossed in the first place, but him passing on the spike to Nats gets them the Viper's Pit. But no, he's down already.
What?
Lead, make it work.
First
All
love.
right.
Man, this guy is a surprising package. At times you look at him play and it's like he's just having a little bit of a tough time, but when he pulls out rounds like these and he's having a little bit of an impact like what you would expect any Sova to have, or a duelist for that matter, he's been a great influence for this team so far. And you can see it, even though the entire team's been putting up numbers for both sides, the side of Bleed have had a lot more contribution because Enable is not really having the best of games. He's on 11. And if you saw the assists of First Love, it's on 13. And he's got 17 kills as well. If that's not impact, I don't know what is.
I swear, First Love with 13 assists. Wow, I have never seen double-digit assists. That is true. This is the first. This is the first. I've never seen this before. First Love, though. My goodness, this man is making me fall in love with him. Love at first sight, literally. I mean, the rounds that he's clutched out for his team, the timing of his recon dots, helping him get information on the attackers and defenders, respectively, no matter where he is. He's able to see through all this utility. Especially Cresania. Like, First Love and Cresania, the timing of their utility is just impeccable. And he's been such a pain in the side for Nats. Every time Nats puts up his toxin screen, he has to be worried about the recon dots from First Love. Most of the times, they are the ones that get him killed. But now that we are heading into the second round of overtime and Alter Ego is in defense, they're playing so passively. This is not how they were playing when they were in regulation. Alter Ego in regulation on defense, they were pushing out mid very often. Now they have barely anyone present over here.
Yeah, mid is being guarded really passively, except for the one person who is enabled towards B connector.
Yeah, but he also has too many responsibilities, right? Like, he's got to watch
B side is open.
Exactly, he's got to watch B as well. He needs to watch mid. Plus, now that we have, I believe, Cresania putting up the toxin screen on the B side, it's going to keep him stationed over there. But this is a fake. The toxin screen that Cresania used on the B side is fake, and all of them are now heading towards the A side. They have no Viper utility to make them safe, but that's exactly the risk that they are undertaking. And they've already paid the price for it. Frosty's and Jopix already dead. Lexi has to use his cyber cages to go inside and plant, but I don't think he's going to be able to get out of it. Nats catches him in the transition. One person who could alleviate the pressure was Cresania from behind, but he's been taken care of immediately. First Love has to work with this tiny gap, and everyone's rushing him. Look at the run and gun from Moji. Oh my goodness, we are going to yet another overtime. Bleed Esports, they're turning it in.
Overtime number 2 on the cards.
Overtime.
As Bleed Esports, I think that, that one fake would have probably been a little bit more, sold to the side of Alter Ego if Cresania would have taken out the Cypher Tripwire. He would have done that, and because there was also a lot of noise towards A main that the side of Bleed were actually making. So that held on the captivity of the attention of Alter Ego towards A main. And Enable was there towards the B main holding it all alone, and he was constantly looking through that, wall. So they didn't rotate, and Alter Ego won that round. And now Bleed yet again on the defense need to win out the first duel. Sharpix looking to win it, but no, Dub, he finds an easy kill. And now they move into the B side. This is dangerous. Cresania needs to hold it all by himself. 1 versus 5, essentially. And he's doing the work, looking for one. Gets the second. And First Love is here to help him out. The side of Bleed Esports are making it work, but Nats finds a trade instantly. And Delb and Nats left in a 2 versus 3 situation where it's made 3 versus 1. And even though the Viper split comes online yet again, it's all done and dusted as Bleed Esports yet again find the advantage.
The number of times Alter Ego have pushed out of the utility of Fresenia is just insane. I mean, take a look at the first half. It was 9-3 because Fresenia was able to defend the B side beautifully, and most of the times it was because Alter Ego were pushing out of his utility. Whether it's the Poison Cloud or whether it's the Snake Bite, they were doing it all, and it made them vulnerable. Or of course, while they're vulnerable, Fresenia can easily just mow them down. And the same thing happens this time around as well. He gets so many frags.
Switching sides. Match point.
They took that time. You saw that towards the end?
I know.
They
I
took
was
that time.
scared.
No, they took that time, I think, because they were talking about what to do in the attacking half.
Okay.
They just maybe because you could see I noticed some of them were talking on the on the player cams, but I'm not sure. Maybe they were taking that extra time to just maybe think about what can we do differently this round. How can we use the attack? Do we need an operator or not? Because I don't know if is Frosty holding an operator.
Delb is holding one, so that's there, and he's holding it towards elbow. He doesn't find anyone over here, although if he was present in this location a couple of seconds ago, he probably would have found so many players of Bleed trying to fall back towards the A site.
Yeah, but
they had their presence on
B,
B, and that's exactly what Delb noticed as well, but I hope he can get towards the A site on time. All the utility is being thrown in, and Bleed not to beat their move. Toxic Screen has been deployed early as well, so this is one thing that's very different from what Nats does as a Viper. He's using the snake bites to make sure that they can't launch just yet.
Spike down.
Oh my goodness.
Frosty, he's found one.
But can he find anything else though? Lexi, he's coming in from the other side. He's still killing all the people trying to move in from the double doors, and this is the only area that could have killed the players of Bleed, but they've taken care of everything. Moji also can't find that player while he was busy healing his team. It's just the operator left.
Yep, and no more.
Okay. Attackers
that is the end, as the side of Bleed Esports have taken a turbulent map of Breeze and made it their own. And Lexi, of course, he's praying to the gods above to not let the curse affect him. And what a win by the side of Bleed Esports. Absolutely well done towards the end. They took their time. They made a patience approach. They didn't really take it down to the last couple of seconds. That's what I like from Bleed. They have this mix of playstyle. They are aggressive, but it's it's the same term that I love to use. It's controlled aggression. They don't take it down to the last 20 seconds. They make it work in the first, in the first bit of the map in the round when they try. They give out a little bit of sound cue. They make them think. They make the opponents think a lot, and then they stop. They wait 50 seconds, 40 seconds. Around that mark is when they make their mark. And that double initiator composition is where it helps them out, because they save either of that Hound or that Owl Drone is saved until that second hit. And they have so much information to work on the back of it. And usually it's First Love who actually is that guy, the second second initiator who has the Owl and the Recon available. And even if he's used it, they wait for it to come back to Recon, and then they attack. And that's exactly why that man has over 19, 20 kills and over 15 assists now. I don't know, man.
That is just incredible from all of these players. First of all, I have to give credit to both these Jets, because they were moving around so much across the map, and they were trying to get the picks on the players who are caught off guard. Moji also, he was turning into one hell of a lurker. Now, we usually do say that Cyphers are supposed to lurk and whatnot, but nobody does it like Moji does. The bravery on this man to peek those angles dry, it's unparalleled. Sure, it is risky, and he will be punished against a team who is a lot more careful, but he just gets away with cold-blooded murder so many times, it's not even funny. I mean, it doesn't matter which team wins this game, because a double overtime is something I did not expect personally. I thought Alter Ego should be able to take this without any issues, because they won against Global Esports 13-3, so I thought, this is one of their strongest maps. But now Bleed can make them bleed on their strong turf. I'm pretty unsure about what's going to happen heading into Bind.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested as well to know whether or not this is going to overturn. Are we going to see a map number 3? Let's have a look at the match highlights before we do go to map number 2, though, because This had a lot. This map had an almost comeback. It had some crazy shots, some brilliant individual plays, and an overall team play that came out towards the end from Bleed. Now, Alter Ego, when they were 9-3 down, I really thought, okay, you know what? Maybe the curse will hit and, they're going to make a comeback. And it did. It happened. They got 3 rounds, 4 rounds. I think they got about 5 rounds consecutively. It was 9-7, 4 rounds consecutively. Then it became not 10-7, 11-7, and then they started hitting back yet again. Alter Ego, they found their groove. They stopped Bleed Esports from pushing them on all the way back into their own defensive lines and even further. And they put the pressure on them. They went on the aggressive and they made sure that they found what they needed. And that was the first blood. Delby in that second half was an absolute revelation for them, with the operator especially. He was getting kill after kill, finding first bloods constantly, and they pulled it to an overtime. But when the overtimes came apart on the defense, Bleed Esports were just too good, and they found both of them. And after that, Alter Ego, all they had to do was somehow inch in, maybe find a little bit of an opening towards their defense, maybe get a little aggressive. But with Frosty playing like the way he did and First Love supporting the way that he did, there's nothing that in the end, Alter Ego could do.
Bleed were getting so many kills with their utility in the first half. Like, take a look at this. You have people pushing Chrysania to his utility. Obviously, the Viper is supposed to challenge you in order to push. If you push through any of that green stuff, you will be vulnerable. Plus, then you had players like First Love getting all these frags with the Hunter's Fury. You also had players like Lexi, who was able to find people on the lurk. Jopix with the flashes, making sure that his enemies are blind as bats by throwing birds into their faces. That's the kind of flying stuff that I love from Bleed Esports. The defense, so strong. But then you take a look at Alter Ego's defense, and it's so much different. Instead of using their utility to get kills, they get Delb to go into these areas where nobody will expect him to push. In the same round, he's pushing down mid. He'll also fall back and push elbow. That's not the kind of movement you expect from a Jet, because once they commit, they usually go for a backstab. Of course, there were several occasions where Bleed Esports were also able to stop all these pushes, and that's probably the only times they were able to win these rounds. But Alter Ego, playing defense in a very aggressive manner, did not give Bleed Esports the space that they needed. And the few times when Bleed Esports did get the space, Alter Ego cut off their retreats. So even if Bleed are able to get into the side and plant the spike, they will not be able to fall back into good post-plant positions. So Alter Ego have their own ways of dealing with Bleed, and both the teams with such vastly different defensive styles. Of course,
Yeah.
all of that boiled down to overtime, And in overtime, you don't really know what to expect from another team, whether they will go for a fake, whether they will go for any of those aggressive pushes, or they will take any unnecessary risks. But they tried to make sure they have as many ultimates available. Of course, it didn't matter in the end because Bleed was still able to win. But this is big. Alter Ego's map pick going in the favor of Bleed. And it was such a sweaty map too. A double overtime right at the start. Not the way I thought that my day would begin.
Yeah, true. And now we move into Bind, and that is Alter Ego. I'm not quite sure if Alter Ego are comfortable, but I would say they're okay with it. Let's have a look at the scoreboard, though, before we do talk about Bind, because First Love, what a performance from him. Look at that. You can look at that team performance on the side of Bleed Esports. 21 for First Love, 22 for Frosty, 23 for Lexi, 20 for Chrysania. Everybody just putting in the effort here. And on the other side, you still can see. You see Dub, he was influential, as always has been, for him being the Jet. 22 for Adina. Everybody has a little bit of something to give from Alter Ego as well. But the problem here was that at moments, I think that individual play was a little bit more focused on than team for Alter Ego.
Yes.
And that kind of threw in the towel for them.
And that's weird because I expected Bleed to be the kind of team who go in for individual heroic plays, not Alter Ego. So we're getting to see a new side of them. That's probably what Alter Ego means, and that's why it's meant to bamboozle your enemies. But First Love, being the MVP, we discussed that there were like 13 assists on him at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't keep track of that number. Maybe the number of assists went up later on as the game progressed, as we head into double overtime. But I, for one, have never seen someone having double digit assists. So that tells you everything you need to know about how coordinated and how well oiled machine of a team will Bleed Esports. So that's there. Although now that we're going into bind, I think we'll probably get to see more of it. If they can outlook Alter Ego in Breeze, I think they can definitely set up some really stellar defenses on bind. That's what the next map is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. We will be heading into the second map in a little bit of time. We're going on a short break, but make sure that you don't go anywhere. Probably go restock up your stacks, because the second map, it will be starting very soon after the short break. So we'll see you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AMD Presents TEC Showdown Valorant. And it's been a hell of a first game. To expect that to go to an overtime, I don't think anybody saw that coming. But, we really loved it because, well, two high caliber teams going up against each other, and we see two overtimes come in. There's nothing more of a competition that we would love to see, especially when both the teams, all 10 players, are performing on the server. Right now, we move into Bind, which, by the way, is Bleed Esports' map pick. One of their strongest. They love Split and Bind particularly, and I think First Love's first love is probably Bind. As I would want to recall, I think he's probably told it to somebody at least. But yeah, that's been the story so far. 15-13, they won on the map of Breeze. Now we go into a map where there's no concept of a mid-region. Let's go to the map recap screen and have a look at overarching storyline, because are we going to see Haven or not is something that I want to particularly know from you, Crips.
I don't think so. They won Alter Ego's map pick, 15-13. I did not expect this, to be honest, because Alter Ego started on the attacking side, which is their preferable side. And they've already defeated so many good teams on Breeze, so I really thought this would be their map pick. But with Bleed winning it out, I think they have what it takes to finish this series 2-0. And Alter Ego are starting on defense. We already saw the major difference in between the playing style of both these teams on Breeze and what their defense looks like. While Alter Ego are a lot more aggressive on a map like Breeze, even when they're on the defending side, Bleed, on the other hand, use their utility, which means they don't need to be aggressive. They can just force the opponents to walk into their crosshairs. That's the stellar difference between these two teams. And with Alter Ego starting on the defensive side, I kind of feel that if Bleed played a little patiently, they can punish Alter Ego and their over aggression quite often on a map like Bind, which definitely is simpler to start off on the attacking side. There's not too many angles that you need to be worried about. Sure, Viper will still again be a staple pick, but on Bind, you have so much more versatility. You can either go for double controllers, double initiators as well. You can have sentinels. Whatever happens, you can still go for it. So yeah, I think there's a lot more versatility that way.
Yeah, there definitely is, a lot of versatility that way. You have to consider that there's not just one way you can play Bind. Bind has a lot of different avenues. We have mainly four different avenues. You've got A short, A long, obviously B short, B long. Now, the best part about this map, well, fairly straight and obvious, the teleporters, where you can
Yeah.
just go anywhere at any time. You go from B to A in a couple of seconds. You go from A to B in a couple of seconds. It's just that the rotations for the defenders are a lot more safer and easier. Given that they are holding down these, there's much more safer journey for them. But for the defenders, the teleport is also useful, but at the same time dangerous, because they never know what's on the other side of the teleporter, right? They need to be careful because the teleporters are more attacking favored than defensively favored. So, how exactly the composition is going to be for this game, I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to find out which team is going to go with what composition. But I want to know from you, Crips. Do you think that we're going to have to see that the age-old thing that we've been seeing in the TC for far too long, that the opponent takes the opponent's map pick?
That could be the case. I mean, Bind is a lot more simpler than Breeze. I'm pretty sure that most of the teams will have played a lot more Bind than they have Breeze, whether it's in scrims, whether it's in tournaments. It's a more user friendly map, to be honest, and it's more generic. So there is a possibility that we go to Haven, but given the way Bleed are playing and given how well coordinated their utility is, I think they
Mm-hmm.
should be able to shut this down right here and now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to find out. The Bleed Esports. The only way that they finish this one out is if again they get a first half lead, the way they did, because Alter Ego, I'm pretty sure they're not uncomfortable with the map of Bind, but I'm pretty sure that they're not too okay with playing it often either. Because I don't know if Alter Ego pick Bind on on and off basis. If they do, good enough for them, then this is definitely going to be something they're going to have no problem with, right? But if they were looking to avoid Bind, maybe, it was not going to happen. I'm pretty sure they should have expected it, because Split and Bind are two maps that, the side of Bleed Esports will definitely lock in one, or if not the other, right?
You
So
also need to consider that Bind is the kind of map which allows a lot of lurking, and it even encourages to some extent. So both Moji and players like Delby, these guys will be up for the task, and I think Alter Ego can probably use those guys as a crutch. I think they shouldn't depend on their lurking too much, because of course you can't be reliant on one factor. You have to be independent. You have to be uh, able to get your success out of many different forms. So that's one thing. Although on the side of Bleed Esports, while their lurking is probably not as deadly as Moji's or Delby's, I still think that Chrysania with his timing can hit some really, really weak points in the enemy armor. That should probably give them the edge. Although now that we're going into Bind, I don't really know who's going to be playing in which exact position. So we don't know who's going to have the responsibility of lurking. It's not always the Cypher. I mean, we saw the Jet also do it the other time.
yeah,
And sometimes we saw Nats go into sell a fake, even though he's the controller and he's the only Viper in the team. He was sometimes doing that. So stuff like that kind of makes you wonder what Alter Ego will bring to the table, because they were fairly unpredictable in the first game.
true. That's true. We didn't really see how exactly it's going to end up in the first map. In the second one, we know who has an upper hand now. Bleed Esports. They are the ones that call this map their home. So if or not Alter Ego are going to be, making a mark of the, for themselves on this map, is something we're going to have to wait and see. We are going to be loading the game pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing that I do want to consider is that, if we're not, are we going to see a double duelist composition? Because that's something that Alter Ego, I think, are okay with. I think the Raze is played quite a bit by them. I think they're going to be, a-okay with going for the Raze. Bleed Esports, I'm not quite sure of their composition. I'm pretty sure the Viper is going to be there. Chrysania is probably going to follow suit of what he did on Breeze. I think Viper is going to be there. The other one, if it's going to be, the Astra, which I think, again, is a must need on this map. The Astra and Viper is a combination that you will need, because for both the sides you will need a controller individually, because the Viper is good enough only for one. With her wall being stuck to the ground, her poison orb only if she throws it in the right direction, and if she lets it be there. Given that, you are going to need a secondary, dual, controller. Which at one point I remember, before the meta came in, used to be Omen, but
Mm-hmm.
no more. Omen, he's far gone into the shadows that he himself came in from. And we don't see him anymore. Brimstone, well, he's stuck over all by himself as well. Both of those agents are almost picked scarcely now. Brimstone sometimes is picked on Bind, which reminds me of a couple of players, of really few players, which I've seen in the SA region pick up the Brimstone. But I don't think Brimstone's being picked that much now, because Astra, well, as versatile as she is, what more do you want? Smokes you can utilize, you can have the gravity wells, and you can concuss your opponents all with just one star. So it's a lot more viable to have two controllers than just one here.
But what's your opinion on a double initiator setup on Bind instead of a double controller?
I'd say that double initiator is good. It is good, that is for sure. But I think having the amount of versatility that a Raze and Jet can bring in terms of movement agents, I think that you can have the Raze as a, I wouldn't want to say second initiator, but I want to say a pseudo initiator, because the Boombot is something that gives information along with damage, right? So
So,
that's one thing I want to say. I'm saying that the double duelist is something that I think I would end up being going for. Let's have a look at the agent selection and go for it. As yeah, you were asking me another question.
no, that's what I was asking, whether you prefer the dual initiator or the dual duelist, and I think your answer is pretty clear. So is the answer of Alter Ego. They're going for Jet and Raze at the same time. Whereas on the side of Bleedy Sports, there's only one duelist, that is the Raze. They have a Sage, though. Both the teams have a Sage. It's been quite some time since I've seen a Sage in Bind, so that could be cool. Viper picked up by Bleed Chrysania and an Astra by Enabled. So the choice of controllers is clear. No Viper present on the side of Bleed Esports, but they do have a Brimstone. So yeah, that's pretty cool as well. I'm sorry, wait, they have a Viper. Crisenia is on Viper, and Lexi is on Brimstone. So double controller from the side of Bleed Esports. They have a Sentinel in the form of First Love, who was playing the Sova last time around. This time, Jarpix has picked up the Sova. Frosty's on the Raze. And then on the side of Alter Ego, the roles are more or less the same, except Enable is playing the controller instead of Nats.
Yeah.
Enable
Now,
is playing the Astra, Nats is on Raze. So
I do want to point out one thing though, Crips. You see the difference in the meta here, right? Both of these teams have picked up a Sage, but if you look at SA teams, they were used to picking up a Sage. Now they don't anymore.
yeah,
So you can see the meta difference between these two regions, that a Sage is, they feel like it's more viable here. And not to forget that both of these teams have got a Raze, and the double duelist, like I said, has come in from the Alter Ego side, and they're going for a single initiator. And that's exactly what, you know, I would prefer to have. Let's see if it comes through to fruition, though, as we begin with the pistol.
Alter Ego on defense. 3 men stationed towards the A side. Bleed Esports carrying the spike. They don't want to keep their position towards the bot area a secret. In fact, they're trying to make as much noise towards A as possible. Do you think they could go for a fake? I don't think a fake is possible from this region, but at the same time, they're not, you know, keeping their position a secret either. So they will have to move in at the same time and still fight AE head on. Delph gets a kill. Alright. Bleed and Frosty's making it one work, but Enable, he's hitting all the shots. So the trade's going back and forth. Bleed Esports now just starting to plant the spike. And I'm not sure if this is going to be enough for Alter Ego. 2 of their players are extremely low on health.
Yeah, they are.
The heal
And one of
comes
them
through.
is being healed up, so that's
Yeah.
a good thing. And now here we go. Kush finds an easy headshot into Lexi. First love with the trade, but
Player standing.
Kush, he doubles up, and that's on Demoji, and he is going to find that frag. Jarpix not able to clutch it out as Alter Ego take the first pistol on Bind. They're gonna be happy with that. They needed it. All right, Moji.
A lot
He's,
of
having fun with his own teammate.
It could be the case, but I have to notice something. I mean, there were just so many bodies being thrown at each other. Both these teams just seek to sort the numbers advantage. It's not like there were any very complicated strats or something completely out of the ordinary. No, nothing is sought. Yeah, sure, the placement of that barrier orb by Moji was a little different from what we usually see the Sages do, but I think it's probably because he wanted to not lock his teammates who are near bathrooms out of the post plant, so that's probably why he did that. Other than that, most of these teams were just throwing bodies at each other. Trades is what it came down to. So, you know, in sweaty rounds like these, once again, when both the teams have the weaponry and the only thing that's different between them are the amount of shields that they have, I think it's going to come down to the trades once again. And unfortunately, Alter Ego do have the advantage, but Bleed want to take it away. One of these teams is going to be flat out broke in the next round.
Well, shock darts being put in by AE. That's keeping the side of Bleed a little bit at bay right now, but they are still moving into this B side. Moji finds one Jarpix with the first kill though, and Moji's gonna double up, and that's a spike in his hands. The slow orb gonna stop Frosty from coming through, but he's still not afraid. He wants this fight, and he's gonna win it. Down to 21 HP he goes, and it's a 2v2 right now. As both the Rays are alive, one of them is gonna TP all the way back towards A.
What did I say? This is all going to come down to just trading. And Enable's alone over here. If he
30
gets double
seconds
peeked,
left.
this could be problematic. He knows that Frosty's is low, so he would much rather fight him.
Down A.
And that's the spike in his control once again. His fellow Raze is on its way from Cave, but he'd most likely be fighting Crisenia right now. He doesn't need any backup. Enable is enough all by himself. He will suffice.
Yep, most certainly. And now with that, it's going to be 2-0. But the side of Bleed, well, they forced in. And that is a little bit of a problem because they wanted to win that run. They did make them sweat, but Alter Ego still came out on top. And now, the side of Alter Ego, they're going to have another 2 rounds in their favor, given that this one is an eco. Sorry, 1 round in their favor, given that this is an eco. He just shares across
That'll work.
the board for the side of Bleed. As now, they're gonna have to see Alter Ego play another round on the bonus, which is a great thing, except for Moji and Delp, who, by the way, have invested heavily into this round.
Right
They
there.
win this, economy's in the paradise for at least 3 of the players of Alter Ego, and that's exactly what they need. A flawless is exactly what they should be aiming for right now, so that they don't really lose out on weapons, nor do they lose out on economy.
Yeah, but even if they do, at least Alter Ego can rebuy. Not really say the same for Bleed. Of course, the best case scenario for Alter Ego would be to keep their players alive for as long as possible so that they don't have to reinvest in weapons and then, you know, the snowball just starts to roll down the hill. That's what it normally is turning into Valorant these days. It's either a snowball effect or it's mostly just down. So it's pretty momentum based.
No, certainly is. Now, it's all about how Bleed are going to try and break the momentum on Alter Ego because they are on a good roll. And if they are able to pick up a good first half of maybe 8-4, or even 7-5, it's going to work out in their favor. Really heavily, given that Breeze was such a bad first half for them. Dub, looking in the right direction, but Crusadnia's gone past him. He's taking care of that. A good angle for him to hold, taking care of both the sides of that Viper wall. And now they're looking for more towards showers. Almost been taken care of, and Fronties will. As Alter Ego take control of B and they push up, and the last man standing is going to get sprayed down with a classic.
Gun here.
The satchel almost threw Enable off his feet. Made him miss his aim. A couple of shots at least, but hey, all is well that ends well. They retain 3 of their eco weapons, so that's pretty cool. All 3 can still continue their bonus weapon round, with only Enable reinvesting in a Vandal. Maybe Kush will also pick up a gun, but even if he doesn't, I won't be surprised. It's Bleed who need to win this round desperately.
Yep. And now with this full buy coming in for Bleed, they should have an easy avenue to do so. They should be able to win this round. At least that's what it says on paper. Moji walling off the hookah region. Does not want to take any chances. Lexi spots Kush. Gives him a bullet or 2 in the knee. As 3 players of Alter Ego are present here, by the way.
I think what Bleed will need to do throughout this game, not just in this particular round, is that they have to boil out the utility from Alter Ego. They need to make sure that Alter Ego dispense all of the utility as soon as possible so that they don't have anything left for when Bleed bring on the actual assault. Because for now, all Bleed are doing is waiting for Alter Ego to maybe push and give them an advantage, and this could be it right here. Delp going down. That's the opening that Frosties was looking for. But the fight is far from over.
Well, most certainly. Jarpix gets the first one. Kind of messed up his name there, but the rest of their players won't mess up their kills as Bleed find everything they need on the B side. The revive comes in even to make it back to 5 players for them. As Nats, well, he's gonna crawl into elbow, and he's got his teammate Enable coming in from hookah, so this is a little bit of a crossfire that they can maybe work upon. Still difficult though. First
Pretty
love.
difficult.
Yeah.
All these angles and
Wait, Enable actually
gets
found
them
2?
both? No way. No way you actually did that. He lined them up somehow. And now even this race is coming through. The Molotov will probably stop them from tapping the spike just yet, but Enable gets tagged with that owl drone. Yeah, you can't afford to do that. That basically means you're gonna die through the nebula. There's not much that Nats can do either. Lead get that first round.
Indeed. Bleed Esports, they kind of lost a little bit of a mark there. They probably wanted the, you know, the semi-flawless round, one that comes after revival, but they had only 2 players survive that, and that is going to be a bit of an issue to their economy because this is the first round that they won after losing out 4 in a row. They are going to be able to buy in, but the 2 players are forced to not play on the semi-armor basis. As the side of AE, well, they've got an operator online, and Dub is raring to go, but no targets to hit because all of the side of Bleed are towards A.
It's great that Enable did not get tagged by that owl drone. Otherwise, it would have just been a carbon copy of the previous round. See, that's what I was looking for. They've burned out so much utility from Alter Ego already. One star already deployed. The Nebula, wasted. Gravity Well, wasted. Barrier Op put up already on bathroom side. That's the kind of stuff that Bleed need to do. But the only thing that's kind of bothering me is that they had to commit Lexi's smoke for it. So if they could have probably held on to that, they would have won the utility war. Although both sides having 3 ultimates means that the situation is kind of neutralized. There is a Hunter's Fury available on them both. So they could probably use that to initiate. Luckily, there are no killjoys, so you don't have to keep your Hunter's Fury in pocket just to destroy that lockdown in particular. But here comes Frosty, and he's flying like a bird. And of course, he's going to drop some bombs on his enemies. Chrysania also making Moji go back in his grave, but this is a little difficult. Delb still has the op. If he can find a kill or two, maybe this retake is possible.
Kind of maybe lost a little bit of a connection. Have I? Yeah.
I'm not really sure about that. But still, Delb, he can't really do much from here. He's gonna have to save. Oh no. Not like this. A flawless buy round? This is disastrous for Alter Ego. Not only did they lose the operator, all the other weapons that they had are gone, and now they have just sheriffs.
There.
Hey, at least the silver lining is that Alter Ego have 4 ultimates, so that's something. Cosmic Divide, Resurrection, Hunter's Fury, and the Blade Storm. So Delb will probably pop his Blade Storm right now. And oh my goodness, look at this. It's an eco round. Alter Ego have nothing to lose, so they just push out of B long. Their only defender on the A side has died, however, so this instantly turns into a retake. But still, them pushing out of B long in an eco round like this is something that I appreciate from Alter Ego. Now, imagine if they stacked the correct side. This could have been disastrous for Bleed. But
yeah,
I'd be able to mitigate damage without too many losses.
Right here.
that's the first for Sharp Biggs. He's looking for another, but he gets shot in the head by Kush. First love will find Delb, and that's a little bit of damage control. But no more should be dying from the side of Bleed. They need to keep themselves alive. Economy is building, and the most important part of economy building is keeping your players alive. And there it is, as Bleed survive with 4 players, and they're gonna be taking back to level terms. Scoreline's 3-3 now, and Alter Ego, now they're gonna be feeling the pressure.
3-3, this is when Alter Ego need to step up. Nats is 1 point away from his showstopper. That could be a difference maker in retake situations, or if he wants to initiate right off the start, that could be a bold statement. Moji has Resurrection available in case something goes wrong. And Enable with the Cosmic Divide. There's not much that he can do on the defensive side, but again, this could be good for retake. So a lot of these ultimates can be really useful after Bleed have already entered the site, but they would probably not want to let that happen in the first place, and that's exactly why Nats has pushed up so far ahead. Both the movement-based characters pushing out of a main, getting that pick, falling back to safety. And that's Chrysania dead too. That's the controller dead, which means they will now have to rely on Lexi's smokes to gather some sort of a safety net.
Enable just jiggle jumping to find somebody, maybe make somebody shoot towards him. I'm pretty sure he shot somebody. Oh, that ultimate! Absolutely perfect! And Lexi's gonna find a kill onto Enable as Nat throws out his showstopper to not let them come in. But it's just one ultimate that actually found the kill, not the other. The revive is available for the side of the defenders, but you can see
nowhere
it.
Close.
Yeah, he's nowhere close. Moji needs to defend this B side, and he misses the first couple of shots, and he's gonna be paying the price for it. First Love finds him, and even though Nats has found Lexi, the plant's gonna go down in this 2v3. I'm not quite sure if Nats and Dub can pull this out. Look at that, pushing this. Wait, what?
Last player standing.
No way. No. The weird exchange of positioning. Oh, man.
He can stick it. Can actually stick the defuse, but he doesn't do it. Probably could have gotten off, but that was just a bit too risky. these kind of smoke shenanigans, there's never a black or white in this region. There's never a good or bad play. It's always a gray area. I mean, pun intended. That's quite literally what a smoke is. It is a big gray area. It's I mean, if you're Brimstone, it's probably brown. But either way, these kind of smoke shenanigans could result in disastrous information exchanges, or lack of information for that matter. Imagine if both of them walked past and he stuck half that defuse, somehow isolated the frags, and still got that clutch. That would have been wonderful for Alter Ego. But unfortunately, they are now once again back in Eco territory. Even after pushing up in the round previously and getting that early frag, didn't really help them to get that man advantage. But they're looking to do it again. Except instead of pushing up all the way, Delb is holding this off angle of sorts. The drone will probably reveal him, but he's a jet, so he can dash back. Never mind. I take it back. Chrysania and Jopix kill every single one of them on the A side, but no, he slowed down. Jopix was getting heals, but First Love, he shoots him in the back of his head. Forces out a revive. Now see, this is good stuff. Alter Ego on the eco round, if they're forcing out Resurrection from their opponents, I think that's a good that's a good eco round. You make them waste the more important ultimates, but yeah. Now Bleed only have 2 decent ultimates available. One of them is the Viper's Pit, the other one's the Hunter's Fury. Frosty's 2 points away from Showstopper, but now there's 3 ultimates on the side of Alter Ego.
Yeah, 3 really important ultimates, one of which can be used for a defensive advantage, and that is the Sage Revival. Not being able to use it yet, Moji.
Yeah, he's just never been in a position where his teammates are dying.
Alright, now Bleed Esports have taken 5 in a row, Crips. And with the pressure mounting on the side of Alter Ego, Delb has got the upper yet again, and now he wants success. He needs success, but he's been smoked off of it. Oh, never mind. That recon gonna be coming in, and that's gonna allow him. Oh, they've spotted him. His smoke is not gonna cover up for him, as a 3-man setup over here on the A side for the defenders is gonna be useful given they push in, but they're all going into a shower. 4 of them in showers here, as Nats throws in that grenade to try and stop them for a bit. Not gonna work out. And here is the ultimate from First Love, as you would expect.
Oh, even the Hunter's Fury going through. So anyone who's trying to be cheeky inside this green city is gonna be forced back. A slow op comes through so that they can't at least plant. And that's gonna mean that Alter Ego are playing from inside this Viper's Pit. A very questionable decision, but maybe with this Hunter's Fury, things can get a little easy for them. Yes, it does. They get funneled inside that narrow corridor of bathroom, and especially with the slow op present over there, they can't even dodge the Hunter's Fury. Easy pickings for Kush. I think Alter Ego are now starting to take a page out of Bleed's book. Remember how I said that in Breeze, Bleed were the team who were having superior utility? This time, it's Alter Ego. The combination that they did, really good. First, you had Moji throw in that slow op so that they don't get to plant the spike even after the Viper's Pit had been committed by Chrysania. And then another slow op followed by Kush's Hunter's Fury. Meaning they can't dodge. And Kush had the easiest 2 kills of his life. Plenty of one-ways forced out already from the side of Alter Ego. Enable must be running out of stars at this point. Doesn't even have any information. Alter Ego playing very passively this time. Very unlike them. Pretty uncharacteristic of Alter Ego for them to hold this back. But hey, now one person finally pushes out. Nats all the way from bathroom spots out the enemy Sova on that location. So that's Jopix revealed. Alter Ego are aware of the fact that Bleed are going for a default hold of sorts. But what does their default look like? They have little to no clue. Bleed now huddling up outside of B. Alter Ego have a faint idea because of the push by Nats, but I think it's not going to be enough. They still need more help. Of course, with Del present over here, things are easy for them. Nats and Kush also chime in with a kill of their own. And everyone's up on the side of Alter Ego. This is the shooting gallery, and Bleed are smack in the middle of it.
Yeah, they got cornered by every single side there. That could have been a little bit more cleaner from them, but Alter Ego, all of their players double up, triple up, whatever they've got, they put into the last 2 rounds and they made it back to 5-5. And that was the most important thing, to not let that lead get away, to not let themselves slip away yet again. And Bind is a lot more competitive than Breeze was in the first half. As Delb, oh, he's going for another aggressive approach. He wants it towards the right. And Lexi could be a problem, and he is going to be...
Oh my
Delb,
god.
are you kidding me?
So that is an important kill because he killed First Love and he was just 1 point away from his ultimate. So that could have resulted in a resurrection. Bleed still committing the showstopper, but no. Nats and Enable, they do him dirty! What on earth is this? The timing from Nats completely bamboozling his enemies, making them think that they have this area, but they actually do not.
How fast was that shot? Sheesh, and this one too. Delb, such a maniac.
Like I said, individual heroics, they get Alter Ego pretty far. But somehow, this time on Bind, it's a lot more sustainable than it was on Breeze. I guess they found their footing.
Clearly. And now, there is a little bit of... this is the last round, so there is everything being put into this. As Delb, this time, uncharacteristically, misses that shot. Enable connects Wiz, though. And this double operator setup across 2 ends of the map by both the duelists. This has not worked out so far. But they still have the man advantage nonetheless. And Alter Ego, they're going to try and keep that for as long as possible.
Yeah, and even if they lose the man advantage, Moji still has the resurrection available, so they just need to protect their Sage. Enable has not used his Cosmic Divide at all in this entire half. Bleed have been using their ultimates whenever available, but now they don't have anything. First Love is just 1 frag away from his ultimate. Maybe could revive Jarpix if things go according to him, but with this barrier orb committed, the plant will now come through. There's plenty of disruptive utility that Alter Ego are throwing, like for example the paint shells or the shock darts, so that they can at least stop the plant from going down just yet. But the showstopper will miss, and this could have been big. But still, Nats follows up with his guns, even if his rocket fails. It's a 2v4 and things are starting to look very difficult for Bleed. None of them have any ultimates. They've almost run out of all their utility. And they're all fighting 1 by 1, which means trading potential is nothing. Revival comes through as well. Frosty trying to make it expensive, but Christina is bleeding internally. He's hemorrhaging with 35 HP. And the recon dart will just make it even more easier to shoot him down. 7-5 for the side of Alter Ego. And I have to take my word back. Maybe Alter Ego do have what it takes to send us into Haven. They have the lead in the first half, but can they retain it?
Well, let me find out, because this first half lead of 7-5 is exactly what they needed to make this map of Bind work for themselves. Bleed Esports, they pulled out 5 in a row, and that was impressive. But the last 2 haven't been kind. Last 3 or 4 rounds haven't really been kind to them. Bleed pulled out 5 in a row, and Alter Ego pulled out 4 in a row. And these guys are not going blow for, you know, small stacks. They're like, everything I give you, you give me right back. And it's happening in multitudes. A bunch of rounds being given away together. And if this continues to be the trend, it's all based on momentum. Who gets 4 or 5 rounds in momentum and then gives it away, they're going to give away another 5 rounds by themselves. That's what they need to stop.
Yeah, the momentum is indeed very important. I mean, in the first half too, Alter Ego got the first 3 rounds, but after that, Bleed won 5 in a row. And then Alter Ego win 4 in a row. That's how the 7-5 half came to be. So you see, once you start winning, you basically start snowballing out of control, and you need 1 round to break the camel's back. They just need to find it. Maybe this could be it.
B. Frosty is holding down along with his teammate Lexi. And that Boombot is not going to give them too much of a informational play, but they still expect somebody to come in towards B. The smoke goes down towards Hookah, and that's another 20 seconds to play with if they don't breach that smoke. The grenade being ready to throw down. Another goes in from Frosty, but it misses. Oh, that's going to be a problem, but his
30 seconds.
Ghost connects, and they find it. Lexi gets 2, and they've done their job. Bleed Esports, they have man advantage, but the plan's going to go down, and here's the retake.
Oh my god, Enable getting a bullet to the head. They must double peek, and they try to do it, but it just doesn't work for them. Christina too strong. And also Rigo win the pistol. Bleed win the pistol, my bad. And that's what they needed. With this, there's a chance that Bleed can make this back to 7-7. And once they tie up the scoreline, then things could go either way.
Oh, yep. This is exactly what Bleed needed, that pistol win. Lexi and Frosty getting those 3 kills was really important for them. And once they did that, the 3v2 was good enough for the 3 members coming back from A.
Let's dial that back a bit. There was so much utility used by Bleed to delay the push. The smokes, the barrier orb. They used everything possible. What's even more, that the Viper utility is placed slightly diagonally if you take a look at it on the B side. So, because of that, it just gets them extra time. And you know what happens when you walk through Viper's toxin screen? You're vulnerable, so like you die in like 2 bullets. Especially if you're on a Spectre. It just becomes so much easier to spray down people when they're already vulnerable with a Spectre. I mean, the run-and gun itself is a massive buff, but yeah, that's what these guys are doing. Bleed, on the other hand, even though the utility is suppressive, Alter Ego have not been able to find that timing. But I think it's a bit too soon to say any of that. A small technical pause, ladies and gentlemen, because someone from the side of Bleed Esports is having a little bit of an issue with their internet. I mean, we made this joke yesterday about Indian ISPs being bad, but hey, looks like that problem is universal.
Yep, it is universal, and it's ironic that it just happened to me as well.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's why it's
some jokes
universal.
just write themselves. Yeah, some jokes just write themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't opt for a career in stand-up comedy, though.
I mean, yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult career,
Especially for you.
making people laugh. Okay, we're hitting that side now. Huh? Okay,
Sorry.
I'll take it.
I had to do it.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll take it. I'll take it. One day when I'm on a stage making people laugh, I will have a moment of victory. I will make you laugh, and you will say, all right, I was wrong.
I thought you really would go to roast me or something, but okay.
No. It's my moment. I'll let you have this, because I'm going to come back with a moment of redemption.
All right. Let's see if Alter Ego can redeem themselves, though. We're about to go back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Bleed already have the first map and now the second pistol for themselves. They are very well on their way to tie up the scoreline, but maybe if Alter Ego can hit their shots with the Sheriffs, things would be different. And just as I say that, Delb hits it. Gets healed back up too, so all the good work that First Love did is now wasted. Frosty's trying to deny the plant, but he would much rather stay inside the nebula than peek out of it. He doesn't want to give up the advantage that he has, the weaponry that he has. He can probably find something later on. Lexi and Frosty start to hit their shots right now. A nice crossover towards bathroom, but he doesn't find anyone over there. Oh, the timing could be great. Look at the flank from Delb.
Nat!
Oh, the Nats. Delb's
my
backstab
God.
doesn't even need to come through.
Wow. Wow.
What just
a
happened?
round.
I was... Okay, let's take it back a little. Delb somehow found the timing, got inside U-Halls. His position could have been amazing over there. Nobody from Bleed was checking for Delb. Delb could have easily backstabbed all of them. All Nats and Enable needed to do was just stay alive and keep the attention of Bleed, you know, towards themselves. Keep them distracted so that Delb could come in for the backstab. But they do one even better. Their sheriffs, they pop all the heads off, and Delb is like, all right, thank you so much for doing my work for me.
Oh, that was a hard round for Bleed to lose. That should have been theirs easy. But they lost it out, and now they're going to have to play a little bit of a passive game on an eco game. As Nazi spots out one, throws in his grenade. Jarpix playing on that bait, is looking for one, finds one. No, it's going to be Lexi actually take down Delb. Jarpix goes down to Nats. And that's going to be Alter Ego taking control of B side, except for Lexi still being alive here. With the classic nothing more though. I don't know what impact he's going to have.
Yeah, it's pretty much done and dusted. Frosty's the only one with some sort of a good weapon, but First Love still pretty potent with the classic. All they need are a couple more kills, and that should be enough economic damage dealt to Alter Ego. Nice! Oh my god, Frosty! You can't do that! And he knows everything. He knows exactly where his other raise is. The paint shell was on point, and now Nats has 1 HP. And I say 1 HP because a single sheriff shot is enough for Frosty to kill him. And he's got a better weapon now. He's got the Phantom. He's gonna stick the defuse. He wants to get at least half. And even though he's on 7 HP, it's fine. Half defuse done. Nats needs to peek him right now.
He could have stuck it.
Oh my god.
He thought the grenade was stopping him. I don't know why he got off the defuse if he just stuck it, because Nats assumed that the grenade is gonna stop the defuse. And he didn't even want to peek, but Frosty, you hitting that second bullet after these two shots were insane, but it's all about this one moment right here.
Yeah.
9-6.
And Nats was like 49 HP, so yeah, sure, those one-taps from the sheriffs were amazing, but Frosties did not even need a headshot to kill Nats. A body shot from the sheriff would have been enough. And then he got a Phantom, which is even better. Sure, there's a lot of things that he could have done in that situation, but I must say, Alter Ego, they lost quite a lot of their members in that round, and that was a good eco from Bleed.
It wasn't now. Lead Esports. There's the defense that they were hoping for. The Molotov goes in, but Lexi!
Spike down.
He flicks onto the head of Moji and gets away with Frosty's there to support him. That is going to be Alter Ego losing out probably in the one round that they were expecting not to. Nats needs to find the kill, and he needs to find it right now, but no, all he finds is his head being taken away from his body. And Enable. 1 versus 5. There's nothing he can hope for. Maybe a couple of exit frags and a shock dart that lines straight to his feet. Not too much damage done though. But all the damage is going to be given to him in a couple of seconds.
30
Just
seconds
save,
left.
man. There's 29 seconds. You can probably get away with this one. No, you cannot. This is one very good thing from Bleed, okay? Sure, they were not able to clutch out that round. They almost had it. But consider this. They had nothing but sheriffs. Alter Ego had all the guns. Not only do they kill 4 members of Alter Ego in the previous round, they destroy them now. And it was flawless. So Bleed are starting to build up their economy right now. Meanwhile, Alter Ego, their economy is down in the dumpster. They have a few weapons, but that is it. Light shields onto Enable and Kush. Spectres and Sheriffs on Delb and Kush. So it's not a very good buy. It's pretty shabby for that matter. And you can see that Alter Ego have had to accumulate their pennies in order to put this one together. After this one, they will have nothing but pennies and pocket lint. And of course, you never want to have lint in your pocket. That's just really, really gross. That's exactly what Bleed have been doing to them too. The only thing that could probably save Alter Ego is the fact that they have 3 ultimates. One of them is the showstopper from Nats. He could easily move inside and clear up U-hauls with his satchels. That leaves only one person left to be taken care of, and that's Moji towards Pocket. And he should be pretty easy to pick off if the rest of them follow up.
A shot! Sorry, heavy
Oh.
hitting. And Nats is going to go down to 67 HP without even having seen a single player. He will get healed up, that's for sure. He's got to say he's ready to heal him up, but Alter Ego, they move in towards the A side, and this is up to First Love. He leaves. Absolutely no mark on this, but Cresania and Lexi, they will find theirs. Here goes the ultimate, and a second kill for Lexi as he denies the plant, denies the kill, and that's going to be Bleed Esports with a 4-2 lead in terms of men. And the only thing that Moji needs right now is the plant, but Jarpix is here to stop him. One bullet is all that's needed in the body. They're going to let the plant go down. Jarpix has no problem with it whatsoever as Bleed Esports pick up number 8.
Oh. And they lose only one player in the process. Bleed Esports snowballing out of control. Alter Ego, what do they do in this situation? The bank balance has run out. Their strategies are running out, and they don't have too many options. They tried to go for a fake, but the way Bleed Esports, they held this area, it's very commendable. I have to appreciate the kills that Delb was able to get with his Blade Storm, but after that, nothing happened. The orbital strike came through from Lexi, and that denied the plant. And then he was able to get the kill onto the Sova. I believe it was Kush. So all of the control tactics of Alter Ego were unsuccessful.
Lead. This is their moment to get back into this game. This round is needed. And given that it is a semi-eco, with Delb and Kush, with the only 2 players having a Judge and a Spectre respectively, they need to be careful. Expect it and not run in. Oh, he's gonna get concussed, and now he should be expecting a shotgun. But Delb, he's really close to Cresania, and this is gonna be a problem.
Delb has been in
Runs
this position
away.
before. He had better weapons last time, but he was never needed on the backstab. This time, if his teammates die before Delb can make a move, this will be a massive waste. Oh, but Bleed Esports, they're moving away from the A side? This could be good. The spike is making its way back towards the B side on the back of the Astra. Jarpix needs to make sure that he gets that kill. Yes, he does. Delb was the only person who could have saved Alter Ego in that round. If he stayed undetected in that region, then maybe a spike plant would have been possible, but now, not so much.
Yep, a good round from Bleed that could have been lost. If Delb had gotten that kill into Cresania, it would have been a huge, huge problem. But Cresania, he held his ground and ran away in the right time. And Alter Ego, feeling the pressure, giving away a lot of rounds. They won those amazing thrifties. They won such great rounds on the basis of pistols, and now they need to be careful of not letting it go yet again, like how it did on Breeze. And you can see their coach Sleepy giving them instructions. He's telling them what exactly they can do, what difference they can make based on the weaponry that they have, because there is a full buy. But the problem is here, Crips, if they lose this round, economy's in the shambles, and number 11 will come up for the side of Bleed on the back of it, because Bleed has got economy for another 2 rounds at the bare minimum.
I think more than that.
Maybe a third. Yeah, that the bare minimum is 2, you know?
Yeah. I
So-
mean, they've got Frosties, Jarpix, Lexi, all of them above $6,000. Cresania has, what, 6,600, I guess? Yeah, so plenty of money available. Alter Ego, though, after losing 3 rounds in a row, this is the first time that they have mustered a bye. That's probably why their coach was also giving them all these instructions. Because if they lose this round, then they will be surviving on max loss bonus. And you know that that's not the place where they want to be. Max loss bonus is a bad place mentally. You can buy weapons in 1 round, but then you have to go utility and whatnot. Viper Spit committed on the A side by Cresania. The other entrance blocked out by First Love's barrier rob. So the only place where AE can actually go is this B side. And they want to go here. They initiate with the Hunter's Fury, clearing out anyone who's hiding in the metal containers. But Frosties is unaffected, and Jarpix pulls out his Hunter's Fury in return. They're fighting fire with fire. They're fighting lasers with lasers. And Lexi is a laser man of his own.
Are you kidding me?
His aim as precise. He strikes thrice. And that's the way that Bleed Esports get the lead.
Well, the timeout backfires Alter Ego, and now they're on an eco. And this is deep, deep waters. Really uncomfortable places they're putting themselves in. A flawless round comes in, by the way. That was a full buy for Alter Ego, mind you.
Yeah, and Bleed Esports already had quite a lot of money, right?
And now they have more.
They're reaching the 9,000 credit mark.
Without even having to reinvest. Yeah, this is just customary. This round is basically done and dusted as you know it. Unless Nats can pull out some crispy shots yet again with that beautiful Arcane Sheriff. Frosty has an idea, but he's not gonna give away his life that easily. He knows that somebody might be on that angle, and Nat, he's running straight into the side. A little too scuffed in the movement. And Frosty's is gonna take him down easily. That's gonna be the end. I think that kill right there is the end. As First Love yet again towards the same angle. You know, I don't really know the point of playing this angle because it's almost one and done basically here.
Yeah, that's what it is. But you're hoping that maybe Cresania can rescue you.
Yeah, sometimes. But you know, he can't always swing. There's somebody who's gonna be taking him too, right?
Probably.
Oh, see,
They've
that
got
star.
yeah. Oh, but it doesn't affect First Love. I mean, he's slowed. He's probably vulnerable too, but Cresania comes in to rescue him. And now that there's a poison cloud in the way,
30 seconds left.
they probably won't be able to see it. Oh my god, Enable
One
still
enemy
very
remaining.
sharp with the Sheriff.
Spike down A.
Jarpix returns the favor, but I think this is going to be the end of Moji. He takes down, yeah, sure, he takes down one more player before he goes down, but how is that going to help them? They've got money for days.
Oh boy, this is Alter Ego's final chance to help themselves win this map. Bleed. They are bleeding out. They are good at bleeding out a game. Real slow. They take their time. And that's something that kind of, you know, I don't know if it helps them or hinders the other team, but something, whatever it is, it works out in their favor.
You kind of make it sound like a torture tactic.
I mean, is it not, to be honest? They take their time, they play it slow, and when need be, they're also aggressive. This team is so controlled with the way they play, it's annoying to face them off.
Certainly, Alter Ego have their head veins popping out. That's how annoyed they must be.
Oh, look at this. Cresania, he's pushing up short, and that's something to work upon. Now they for sure know that this is going to be a B hit. Only the one player on to A short. That's Enable, and he's going to be running away as well. And now he's in his Yoko form. He could be caught off guard here, but no. They run straight in. Delb to lead the charge. And here's the ultimate coming in to stop them from coming in. But Lexi, he finds the kill. I thought they would escape it, but they didn't. And Delb is pushing into the smoke. So brave. And now in the 3v3, Delb is just going crazy. Finds another, but First Love takes out Nats. 2 versus 1, and Delb has to be the hero. He's vulnerable, down to 83 HP, and he finds the kill onto First Love. Yes, he will. What a clutch!
My ult's ready.
A 4K for the Jet and a beautiful round. Thanks to Delb's individual tactics and prowess, Alter Ego survived for another round, and yet again reminiscent of what we saw in Breeze.
Man, I really thought Alter Ego would have veins popping out of their heads by now because they must be so annoyed, but they bring it back and looks like we might just be headed towards yet another overtime if they can somehow win the next one. And they might just be able to. They've got 3 ultimates available. They have to use Enable's Cosmic Divide somehow productively. Enable hasn't used that Cosmic Divide at all in this entire game. Surely they must find a way. Oh, but they don't. The moment one of them finds an opportunity, everyone will pounce. Bleed Esports, they've got everything they need. The Danger Man Delb is out of the game, and he was the top fragger for his team. Push? What a cheeky push!
Perfect timing, man. Oh, but Frosty, he's stuck, and there's nothing they can do. Kush finds an opening, but Jarpix hits back. 3 versus 4. The attackers are in the advantageous position, and Kush needs to run away, and he will. Alter Ego take care of the A side, and that's gonna be it. This retake is looking really difficult, but the revive is there. The revive will come in, as you can see. Yep, Lexi's gonna come back to life, and 4 versus 4, we go downtown, ladies and gentlemen.
Delb, back from the dead, resurrected. Definitely will put someone else in his grave. You can't have that spot leaving vacant. Now, Alter Ego, even though they've got the man advantage, I think Bleed can still make this one work if they can isolate these frags. The crossfire between Kush and Moji, very effective. Gravity Well doesn't find anybody, but the snake bites also are ineffective, so the utility is not a winning factor for Bleed, but maybe First Love is. Boiling it down to a 1v1, he swings wide and Delb is prepared. Scores are tied yet again. Oh, and this is just Breeze all over the place. This is Breeze all over again.
Oh, man.
What a round. Those fury of exchanges towards the B-long area. So unpredictable. First of all, Kush pushing out of that sky smoke and still getting the kill is criminal. You shouldn't be able to do that. If you push out of a smoke, you are the one who's visible first. You will get shot first, but Kush was still able to get that kill. When the revival came through, Frosty's popped his showstopper. And I thought, yeah, sure, there's a rocket launcher. He knows where the enemy died. This should be yet another confirmed kill. But the showstopper did not connect, and Alter Ego found an edge. Oh no!
Lexi!
No!
He sprays down 2, and he's already got his orbital strike online. He just had it 2, maybe 2 rounds ago, I think.
Oh.
No clue. And Enable yet again lurking towards the A side is met by a Sage Wall, which is gonna force him to run away, or maybe he's just waiting for the wall to break down. There's only one line of defense on A, and that is the Sova, Jarpix.
Recovering it.
He really can't do much all by himself, especially if he was towards the U-Haul region. Sure, he doesn't need to worry about anyone coming in from the bot, but the wall's about to break, and now his worries start to begin. He spotted out Enable in this region, and while he was busy focusing on Enable, Nat has already moved into it. The site, Frosties doesn't even have the opportunity to back his teammate up, and Jarpix has a rocket on his face. The orbital strike does nothing to save his life.
This round is literally on your hands. 3 versus 3, 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1, and Nats is on for the ace. What a turnaround by the side of Alter Ego. What have they done?
No.
First Love will survive. He takes down 1, but he's down real low. Enable and him are down low each other, and now brings it down to a 1v1. The Battle of the Sages, and Moji's gonna win it because he's got a better angle. Alter Ego take match point.
What on earth is this game? It's making me stay on the edge of my seat. Oh, the dreams of the upper bracket. Alter Ego keeps on repeat. And they've got 2 ultimates now. Kush with the Hunter's Fury. This could be a game-changing ultimate. Keep in mind, if he commits this towards U-Hauls on A, that entire region is clear. He can initiate in the best way possible by clearing out those angles and making sure that Bleed have no ground left to stand on. And Bleed don't have any counter ultimates.
Get out of my way.
The closest that anyone can get to it is probably First Love and Jarpix, but they are like 2 points each away from an ultimate. I really thought that Alter Ego will lose the round after Lexi was able to turn around like that and slap 2 people in the face, but no, it just never happened. First Love playing around the single block of the barrier rob, and now the Hunter's Fury comes through. It's killing everybody. The people in U-Haul down in the dust as they get vaporized. Delb already taking position, and the plant is safe.
Plant is safe, and look at Enable. He's towards A short. I'm pretty sure that they don't know this yet, as they're trying to break down the wall as a first measure. 4 versus 3, the revive available as well, and he's going for it, I believe, the Sage. You can see it. Moji's running, Nats is taken down, and now here we go. Bleed, you need to find the first kill, or it's gonna be really difficult. There, no. First Love gets it. He gets a second, and they're making this work. They're pushing in. Kush cannot do anything. Frosty's and Jarpix double up. And oh my god, this is working. But the time's going far too much. Nas needs to get away. They need to stick the defuse. He's working, and Frosty's gets it, and the defuse comes in the room. Another overtime. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this game?
We are going the distance. Bleed Esports, they are not going to give it up this easily. They had no way to win that round. Barely any utility that could help them get the defuse. They had the revival available for them very late in the round, but by that time, there was just simply no time for First Love to go away, revive someone, and come back and fight. So he was like, screw it, I'm just going to click mouse one, kill anyone who's playing towards the bathrooms region while my teammates continue to protect me from U-hauls. And they do it. One person sticks half the defuse. Everyone else body blocks him, quite literally protecting them with their lives. And they win it. 2 overtimes in 2 maps. Will we even get to see a map 3, or have these teams given everything they've got for us right here and now? Delp certainly isn't done. He gets away with murder in cold blood. No trades available, and that's one very important controller down.
Chrysania, he spots out Nats. He's stuck in this corner now. I'm not quite sure if Nats knows this, but that's exactly why he's releasing the boom bot. And Chrysania finds the better of him. 4 versus 4. The attacker is still with the advantage of map control as they run in. Enable has been smoked away, but he finds a gap.
Tiny gap.
Oh no. That one little gap that's left out by that poison orb is probably going to cost them the round. Enable wouldn't have dared to spam through that smoke if there was no gap in it. Would have still been 4 versus 4.
Ouch. It's a bit of a friendly fire, but I think that's not it's not that big of an issue. Now, First Love needs to be very careful about the advanced positioning from Delp. If he can get the kill on Delp, maybe he has the chance to retrieve the spike. Because Jarpix certainly cannot. Jarpix is pretty much trapped over here, but yeah, First Love also dies, and now they know where the last remaining Sova is. The hunter becomes the hunted. And in 20 seconds, he will be done. Whether or not he survives this one. There's no point saving your weapon because, I mean, you're going to have 5,000 bucks in the next round anyway. So might as well go down swinging.
No charges left.
And there it is. 13 to 12. Alter Ego with the lead. And Bind is turning out to be not so much of a home for the side of Bleed Esports. We're constantly having a look at Haven. We're peeking towards Haven every single second. And Alter Ego, they need this win. Bleed, what do you have in store for us? On the defense, Lexi yet again towards B-Long. And he needs the double man spray down that he did a couple of rounds ago. He needs it back. He needs to do it yet again. Alter Ego, push up. B looking highly likely. And look at that backstab though. Crips, this is gonna be major. Enable has no idea that they've crept past him. And this is gonna be a huge, huge problem. Oh my god.
Backlines.
Oh my god. No! No!
What?
What? The backstab on both ends completely dismantled. Not one kill from the backstab. 3 players. That's it. It's over. Alter Ego, take us to a 3rd map.
No, don't say that yet. Never say die. It's Lexi, and he's got the combat stims with him. Not that great, but still better than nothing. 4 people left to find. Crossfire between the 2 players on bathrooms is pretty damn good, but this crossfire, the one between Enable and Nats, it relies. So if he can thread the needle, if he can find the timing and swing around, this would be great. And he's found one. Both of them now revealed. That's exactly what I was scared of. I really thought that Lexi should be able to isolate them one by one. For the most part, that happened. But now we have Delp just toying around with him, playing fancy footwork, and Lexi gets them all except for Moji. Oh, he almost had it in the bag. This would have been the clutch of a lifetime if he was able to pull through. but looks like we will be heading towards map number 3. And it is the map with 3 sites. It's going to be Haven.
Yep. Oh, you deserve that drink of water. There's so much work being put in to these both games, both having so much competition. And whoever's watching, well, you better type in happy birthday because Sleepy, Alter Ego's coach, it's his birthday. Let's all give him a nice little wish as he probably deserves this victory for his team. And Alter Ego will see us through to map number 3. That is Haven. Both these maps have gone to an overtime. I don't know why Haven wouldn't go.
Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason that Haven goes into an overtime. And we have seen in a lot of TC tournaments that Haven usually is the map that is very close. Now, whether or not it goes into an overtime, Haven is the map which is most likely to go to something like 13-11 or something along those lines, right? But both these teams, they one up each other in the most hilarious ways. And sometimes you think something's going to happen, but then the opposite of that happens. That backstab, what went wrong with it? I thought he's going to be able to line each and every single player up. Nobody was looking in his direction. He even had the aim down correctly, but he then kind of got confused between shooting down 2 targets at the same time instead of just focusing one-on-1. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to blame it on a mechanical error, but tactically, I think Bleed Esports had this game in the bag.
Mhm.
Just very small, tiny errors, and tiny errors like that little gap that we saw in that little assault towards the A side. Small things like those are what change the outcome of the game, but that's what Valorant is.
Yeah.
When you have teams of such high caliber both competing against each other, both of them making some really good plays, it's going to boil down to which one of them breaks first and which one of them makes the more mistakes. Let's take a look at the highlights because this match certainly had quite a few of them.
Yeah, it did have a lot of highlights from the first half to the second to the overtimes. Everything was filled with so many high octane moments, especially towards the end, where in the last 2 or 3 rounds of the second half, it just went so much back and forth, 3 versus 4, 3 versus 3 situations where it was so intense. You just gotta love to see it. This is the kind of competition that we want to see. And what a great job from the side of Alter Ego to finish it up. It was getting really difficult, to be honest, in the end over there. But they somehow get through and they make it work.
Exactly. I mean, they not only mounted a massive comeback, they also had to break Bleed's economy in order to do that. Keep in mind that there was this time when they had 9,000 credits on almost all their players, and they don't even have to reinvest. From that situation, when Bleed literally have nothing left to lose, to Alter Ego bringing it to 11-11, I have no idea what Alter Ego must have required to pull through that. The mental fortitude it takes to keep yourself invested in a game at that time is through the roof. And every now and then, even after the lost rounds, Alter Ego, they did not stop hitting on the defensive side. They did not stop pushing out. Sure, sometimes Bleed were able to punish them, but it did not stop Alter Ego because they were still looking to play aggressively, just like they were on Breeze. Of course, Bleed were a lot more disciplined this time around. They were very slow and methodical, which is something that you would expect from them. But I thought maybe on Bind they would play a little more wildly. That did not happen. That was completely away from my expectations.
Yeah, that is true. I genuinely thought that, we're probably going to be seeing a 2-0, but a close 2-0 even that. I thought it was going to be a 13-11 win for Bleed Esports, but Alter Ego, they proved me wrong, and I am more also happy to be proven wrong like this. When the match is so good, so interesting, and so high octanely intense, you just can't get enough of it. You always want more. We are going to get more as both the teams have tied up the scoreline now, and 1-1 is the overarching storyline that we're going to be following to see who exactly is going to end up being the victor on Haven. Now, I'm not quite sure who's stronger on Haven because I don't think we've seen either. I mean, we've seen Alter Ego play on Haven, but we've not seen Bleed play. So I'm not quite sure who exactly is going to have the upper end here. What do you think, Rips? What do you think we might expect to see? Do we see a hat trick of overtimes come in of 3 maps?
Not really sure. I mean, this game itself had so many unpredictable moments, like that wonderful spree of headshots from Nats. I mean, with the sheriff too, almost pulling off an eco thrifty. So that was not something I would have expected. Then there's moments like these from Delp. Sure, in that particular round he died, but you remember that one round where Delp was towards the U-Haul and his presence could have single-handedly changed the outcome of the round? Yeah, stuff like that. It makes it hard to predict. And this is Bind. I mean, it's a much more tactically simpler map than Haven. In Haven, I'm assuming there will be so many more moments like these when people slip past each other and, lines of sight get broken. In moments like those, I think it's going to boil down to which team is able to get the timing right. I mean, let's say, for example, if Delb is able to get into these power positions once more, like he was getting into Bind in so many more rounds, if he gets into power positions like those, it will be very easy for him to single-handedly dismantle the side of Bleed Esports. But then again, Bleed, if they set up Frosties for success, he's going to single-handedly mow down the entire opposition because he was getting triple kills, quad kills so many times. It's not even funny how often this man got a multi-kill.
Yeah, that is true. You know, so many times the individual clutches from Delb has come into play. He alone has pulled in rounds. A couple of them were just absolutely crazy. 4Ks, 3Ks, even the backstab kills sometimes. Everything just perfect from Alter Ego. It was so hard fought. Both the teams putting pressure on each other, and it sort of nullified it all. And in the end, it was Alter Ego to try and find this final round all for themselves. I really thought this is probably going to end the way of Alter Ego. The way they pulled out that 13th round for themselves, I thought, okay, you know what? Sorry, the 12th, 13th round for themselves in the 3v4. I was like, okay, you know what? We are going to see Alter Ego win this one. Sorry, Bleed Esports win this one. But then that one round where the backstab came in of 3 members, Enable had no idea whatsoever. And they bottled that. I don't know how the hell that's possible, but 3 people whiffing at the exact same time has to be a world record.
Yeah, and like I said, it's gonna boil down to which one of these teams makes the least mistakes. Sure, there were several such moments where both these teams had an advantage and they let it go. And it's not for one particular team, it was there on both the sides, so they are both equal to blame. Although I must say, Alter Ego, they found themselves in a completely new situation during the overtime rounds. They had plenty of advantages. They did not lose members right at the start. Plus, somehow they all started to magically hit their shots in overtime and kill all the members of Bleed Esports, even after Bleed Esports were doing nothing wrong. Like, they were double peaking, they were still playing disciplined, but it still just did not happen. Success eluded them. And Alter Ego this time around, they survived this onslaught. We're going to Haven now. If you take a look at the stats, you will clearly see that the MVP of this game has to be the Jet from the side of Alter Ego. What nutty shots this man was hitting, and sometimes even without the backup of his teammates. So that is incredibly difficult. I mean, at least in Breeze, Delb had the backup of his fellow Sky. This time, there's nobody to flash him in. The maximum thing that you can do is probably put a gravity well in a position where you would expect an enemy to be, and then Delb moves inside with a judge or maybe his ultimate to kill them. But other than that, Delb had to rely a lot on himself and his individual firepower, which is something that I have been criticizing since the previous game. I've been saying that Alter Ego rely a bit too much on their individual heroics. But hey, if every single one of them in their team is a superhero like this, then why shouldn't they rely on it? Why not?
True. Yeah, and that is something that they probably will need on the map of Haven as well, as we are going in for a short break, ladies and gentlemen. But don't go anywhere. We're going to be back real soon with the third map, because this is only getting more intense. And whether or not it's going to be, taken to another overtime game, we'll find out soon enough, as we'll be back with the AMD Presents TEC Showdown. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown. My God, Crips, this has been an amazing 2 matches that we've seen. It's been hard fought, it's long, turbulent, but it's been intense and amazing. Honestly, I did not expect to see map number 3 today. I thought one of these two teams is probably going to take the cake to, a 2-0 win, and they're going to have an easy route. But having 2 overtimes come in on 2 maps, one map, and 1 overtime come in another, I don't see why there's any reason for Haven not to have an overtime. Let's have a look at the overarching storyline on the map recap screen, because you can see it right here. Both the teams have got great wins, but even those great wins were after a really, really long and hard fight. Now, on Haven, I don't expect it to be any different, but I actually have no idea who's going to win this at this point.
Yeah, me neither. All the expectations have been thrown out of the window, all caution thrown to the wind, and I think Alter Ego will play even more aggressively this time with Bleed solidifying their fortress, and especially when Alter Ego is on the defensive side, I think Bleed will most likely try to pick off the players of Alter Ego very carefully. Alter Ego have been playing somewhat aggressively, so it stands to reason that the defaults from Bleed have to be on point over here, at least in the first half. And later on in the second half, when Alter Ego are the ones who are attacking, both the teams will be in their natural element. So, first half is the only time when these teams will be uncomfortable. But I'm not sure how comfortable either of them are on a map like Haven. So let's just put all the theory crafting aside and get into the agent selection tree. Arena? Okay. Unexpected, but okay.
Arena is usually what you want to see as a secondary duelist on this map, if not for if you don't choose to go for a Phoenix, which usually it doesn't end up being the case. It looks like both these teams are a double duelist setup on Haven. Moji is going to be locking in that Cypher. We've got pretty much the exact same lineup if Nats does choose to go for that Reyna. And yet again, these teams are on similar fronts, except for Bind. Bind was a little bit different. But Breeze and Haven, exact same lineups.
I really thought that Alter Ego will go for some double initiator setup or something like that, because they have been relying on a lot of informational plays, and their defaults on the attacking side usually look very split up. So I thought maybe the additional information could help them out. But it makes sense. I mean, if they're going to be splitting up and playing, if they're going to be facing their opponents one by one, they might as well then have Arena, because after a duel, you can obviously heal up. So that stands to reason. So, all right. A Jet Arena on both these sides, Sova, Cypher, and Astra. Carbon copy lineup, same to same, both of them. The only thing that's different is that Bleed have probably just switched up their roles a bit. First Love now opting for the Jet instead of Frosties, so Frosties does not have a lot of mobility this game. But I don't think that should bother him too much. Chrysania, just as usual on a controller, opting to go for the Astra this time instead of the Viper. And on the side of Alter Ego, we have little to no change. All the players are still playing their roles. So, yeah, this should be a pretty standard game from Alter Ego. And again, both the maps that we have seen so far have boiled down to which of these teams making more mistakes. I hope that they are good enough to force errors out of their opponents in this map too. Without further ado, let's jump in.
Yeah, jump straight in. Now, the one thing that we need to consider on defense, Alter Ego on Haven, it was against Global Esports they played, right? They played Haven. Was it their third map?
No, they played Ascent, so we haven't seen them.
Never. Oh, my bad. Never mind.
What? Hold on, I could be wrong. They did play Haven. Yes, Alter Ego played Haven. Alter Ego played Haven, and they won 13-11.
Yeah.
So they struggled against Global Esports. Stands to reason they'll struggle against Bleed too. But there's 2 kills in already. And then take a look at the position of Delp. Oh my god, he's so sneaky, so patient. Yeah, that was not that patient, dashing into your opponent, but still, it's a 1v4, nearly impossible to clutch for Lexi. At least he still got the spike, so if he does find a gap in the defense, he could probably go ahead and plant. But it's unlikely that he's going to be able to do anything.
Well, just the one man remaining, Lexi. What can he hope to do? He is running in towards B as Moji is also going to be making his way here. Takes out that
Cage triggered.
tripwire. Maybe the plant at the bare minimum is what he would expect to have. And there it is. He will get concussed, but he's still safe for now. Not for too long. Kush takes him down as a third of his round. And that's going to be Alter Ego with a damping first pistol round on Haven.
It is over.
That is
A
a bit of a
stellar defense.
That is a bit of a statement, yeah. Delb getting that 2K pretty easily. Kush with the third. A really good play from the side of Alter Ego.
And the position that Delv was holding, it's so dangerous. You can easily spot out the Battle of the Ghosts from that location. But somehow, the first person of the lead, he went in towards long, and then the other person, I believe it was Jarpix, he just did not bother checking that angle because he thought he's safe. So Delv was able to get away with that cheeky position. But under any normal circumstances, most people will get punished over there. No presence towards A long, so Alter Ego go ahead and take up the orb over there. Meanwhile, any presence that was noticed towards C has been rightfully dealt with. Oh my god. Literally dashed away, and his other teammate got caught in the crossfire.
Okay.
Bleed Esports basically are making this round very expensive, but nah, only one kill, so it's not that expensive. They retrieve both the Vandals, and they don't lose too much, so Alter Ego still have a decent amount of guns. Bonus round now possible for them.
All right, 2-0. And this is exactly where the game starts for Alter Ego because the opponent is going to have a full buy. Bleed on the attack, need to make some sort of a difference. And the one thing I do want to point out that you can see, First Love is playing the Jet. Now, that is something that we need to keep in mind because first map he played he played the Initiator, second map he played the Sage, and now he's playing a Jet. So that's the versatility role for him and the team. As Delb has been dealt with.
Destroyed.
And Lexi's tripwire is going to go down, but Kush finds him. Beautiful shot. As Nat is looking to pick up that weapon for himself, but he's going to take care of first the window region. Now he gets the Vandal, but he's a little too ambitious for his own good. Jarpix takes him down. And now in the 2v3, the attackers have the advantage, but not of health.
I said this though. I said this before. Alter Ego will play very aggressively, and that's exactly what they're doing. They have their players pushing up C-long, mid, even killing the spike carrier over there. So Alter Ego had the opportunity to win this round if they let the spike stay in their sights, but somehow Bleed recovered it, and now the plant has gone through. Both players, Enable and Moji, not playing in tandem with each other, coming in from two separate regions, which means trade fragging will be difficult for them.
Blocking vision. Obscuring vision.
Let me obey.
Leave
And
that back.
Chrysania under heaven here. He's just gonna have to hold on. He does not need to peek out anywhere, but he still finds the kill. Moji with the trade back, 1 versus 1, and Moji is looking to maybe stick it. Oh, he's playing with time here. Gonna be difficult. Oh, he goes back for the kill. Frosties has done more than enough. And that's gonna be round number 1 for the side of Bleed. If
Oh, but
what do you
this was-
think? Do you think Moji could have just stuck it if he had just stayed there?
Not sure. I think Frosties would have reached in time to kill him, but it was too close to tell.
Yeah, it was
Although
really close.
there was one thing that you could tell very, very easily, and that's the fact that Alter Ego and their aggressive approach, it hasn't subsided. They have no intention of stopping it. Yeah, sure, that was a bonus round, so they can afford to take losses and play aggressively, but even in a buy round like this, they are... doesn't even dash away. Only after the gravity well is being put up, that's when he decides to save his own life. But Bleed Esports, making their presence known towards the A site, have drawn out a rotation. now because of this, Nats has also positioned himself on the A side, which leaves Garage only with a tripwire. So if they can go back, they should be able to get in there pretty nice and safely.
Yeah, they're
Although they
back.
are aware of the fact that there is an operator over here, so they still want to push it. That's brave.
They get that kill. And Crescenti
It's
has
a
no
bait.
idea there's one behind him. And Nats, he gets the one, but he's jumping. Oh! He actually gets away, and he adds on. Nats has done a good job of getting two. As Enable comes in, pinch stripe of a kill
Oh my
feed.
god.
But it's still Alter Ego to come out on top.
So here's what happened. Delb, he was holding that angle with the op and he doesn't have a dash back. So he stayed over there. The moment he died, Nats was in the same position and Nats did not peek. So because they killed Delb, they thought, all right, that's it. This position's clear. There shouldn't be a second player in that location. So they started looking the other direction. But Nats used Delb as a bait, got a kill, dismissed back to safety, went towards short. And he should have been safe over there, except Lexi came in from that region, so that's how he died. And if it wasn't for Moji rotating in time, this round probably would have gone to bleed. Moji had to leave the sea and the garage region very quickly to help his teammate out. Oh, but this time, Delb, he's pretty successful. Easy kill onto Lexi. And another one by Kush. Things are starting to look up for AE.
Jarpix, he's watching the map as his teammates just crumble down. I mean, it is an eco, so you wouldn't expect much.
Player standing.
But with that, Moji, he's going to confirm round number 4 for his team. And they've had a good first bit of the first half. Alter Ego, this is exactly the kind of start they needed. And Bleed Esports are feeling a little bit of the turbulence of this map of Haven. I'm not quite sure if they're comfortable on it, Crips. I've not seen them. I don't know if they particularly like the map of Haven, if they try to avoid it, or if they, you know, they're good with not avoiding it. Are they good on it? Do they ban it usually? No idea whatsoever. But so far, it looks like they're not really having a great time.
Yeah, they've been holding all their angles and waiting for Alter Ego to push. Bleed Esports are playing their defaults
You want to fight
and
it?
expecting AE to give up the advantage, but nothing of that sort has happened yet. They are aware of the fact that there are 3 people present over here, but they're still keen on pushing. That's a suicide mission for Bleed Esports, especially when the amount of firepower is just this overwhelming. They don't even get to enter the site. They get stopped in their tracks. AE, they shut this site. They say, come back tomorrow, son. This is closed for business. No entering over here. And then Bleed have to take a tactical timeout. Everything that they've been trying so far on the A side hasn't worked. In fact, the one round which they were able to win, it was a really, really intense one, which boiled down to a 1v1. But let's be honest. Whether they try to go towards A, they're unsuccessful. If they try to hold their defaults, again, they're unsuccessful. I think their only options right now are C and B, which they haven't tried yet. Maybe after this timeout, we get to see an attack in that region.
Yeah, I think they really need to consider going towards C, because I don't think they've even touched C at this point. They've gone towards B.
Yeah, I mean, they went towards B when, this one, the Cypher had no choice. When Lexi had no choice and he tried to go for a plant over there. But that doesn't count. That was not a full team B execute. That was just one man executing a backup plan.
Yeah. And now with this tactical timeout, they are going to have to consider what exactly their options are.
Checking the situation.
It looks like they might want to go towards B or mid or garage.
It could be good.
Well,
Alter Ego have been stacking up the A side quite often. Except the one round in which Bleed Esports think that the A side will be stacked and they'll go towards B instead, that's when Alter Ego decide to focus on B. Ooh, Recon doesn't reveal anyone, but the drone will reveal some people, so at this point Alter Ego are aware about the presence of Bleed towards mid. Enable playing a one and done angle. He goes for it. More people coming through. Of course, the trade happens. I thought somebody would come in and use him as bait, but that didn't happen. Oh my god, but Bleed! What did I just see? 3 seconds, 3 one-taps, and all of a sudden the B side is open for business once again.
Spike planted.
Delb's been tagged
man.
with that camera, waiting for the body bag. and Lexi knows exactly where to find him.
My camera is
Another one.
destroyed.
Smile for the camera, please. Delp says, yeah, there's your smile. Take it to your face. But as he tries to extract that dart from his body, his position revealed. Time of the essence over here, and he just values his op a bit too much. That's the round conceded by Bleed Esports. I'm sorry, by AE Esports. They had such a good stack over here. Then all of a sudden, the sheriff started to sing the songs of death, and Bleed Esports show us what they're made of.
Bleed Esports, they somehow pull out a beautiful round in their hands.
Thrifty.
And that's exactly what the timeout was for. Individual aim combined with good strategy equals to round win.
Yeah, but it wasn't that good of a strategy in the first place. I mean, they didn't have their smokes in place. They went in for a contact play, which isn't all that bad. But still, you need something to make an eco push like that work. Enable giving up his life by getting only one kill is still understandable. He was playing a one and done. He thought his teammates will cover him, but that did not happen. And the fact that Alter Ego had nobody present towards the A-Link side is, I think, what resulted in Bleed getting this round. Very early Hunter's Fury when they've already found Lexi. What? Okay, then. That's a good way to start the round.
Well, it is. And now Bleed Esports is back on the position where they were eating pressure like they're biscuits. And look at that, Enable, he's got given a little bit more. Every bit of kills that they are finding is just putting Bleed Esports in a position where it is going to get so much more difficult for them. 5 versus 3. One ultimate available, which could be used for post plant, but Bleed, they're not even able to get out of garage at this point.
Yeah, if they try to walk out the window, there's Enable waiting for them. If they try to walk out of the actual garage door itself, there's Delp waiting for them. If they try to fall back, then Moji would have stopped them. They were trapped. Alter Ego moving around Bleed like a boa constrictor, surrounding them from every side, squeezing the life out of them.
To play some stars. Heading to the above.
Now,
That should work.
if you are Bleed Esports, how do you get back from this?
Stop relying on Alter Ego to make the pushes first. Sure, Alter Ego are making pushes, and it's completely fine to hold defaults. But you need to do it in the right place. For example, Delp is pushing out of C long. The amount of information Delp has gathered now, it's gonna force the side of Kush also to peek, and even Kush doesn't see anyone on A long. So no presence on C, no presence on A. Even though this B side is incoming now, Alter Ego were already prepared for it. But no, after the preparation, Enable giving up his kill like that, that's a bit unfortunate. Imagine the Cosmic Divide being available in post-spawn. That would have made life so much more simpler. But hey, by clicking mouse 1, you can make it simple too, I guess. They just hit their shots and everything works. It was an eco anyway, so it never really was too much of an issue for Alter Ego. But again, things would have been so much simpler. Imagine Enable and his Cosmic Divide in a B retake. He can seal off the B entrance, and anyone who's playing towards mid, which is basically everyone on Bleed, they will be locked out of the action, and then they become irrelevant. Still, good damage control by Alter Ego so far. 7-2, more than impressive of a score line, and they've got the money. There's like, what, 3 rounds left in this half, and I think they have enough money for all 3 rounds, so no way Alter Ego have money issues right now. They are rolling in gold.
Yep, they are. That's just making it it's just making it so much better for them. You know, there's nothing that you would expect that these guys are not doing right now. Alter Ego have completely taken over the side of Bleed on this map of Haven. And every single movement that Bleed are trying, they're trying different things. But it's just not working out. And now yet again, they move towards A where they've had minimal success.
Yeah, and that too after they didn't make too much noise on B. Sure, they were present towards mid and garage, but they did not make their presence known. And this is very clearly orchestrated. Take a look at the position of Delp. He doesn't see anyone on C long. No presence on B. Alter Ego are more than aware that this A hit is coming in, and they're prepared for it. Look at the preemptive gravity wells. They won't be allowed to plant. Kush with the double kill. Finally, his killing spree gets put to an end, but as soon as his Fury's box enabled starts his own.
What
It's
a
almost
way.
like Alter Ego are forcing Bleed Esports to move into their process. It's like they're forcing them to do what AE want them to do.
Oh man. What a way to push up the victory line. 8-2. I really did not see that. I thought it was going to be another, you know, close match. We saw 2 overtimes.
Hey, even Breeze was not close in the first half, so don't get your hopes down just yet.
Actually, yeah, that's true. But look at this 4-man stack onto A. What a read by Alter Ego, and they're gonna be completely dismantling the side of Bleed. What?
Taking that back.
How did they expected it so perfectly? They had a 4-man stack on C.
Last round. before
Exactly,
the
and it's not even like they got some information which gave them this ability to stack. Like in the previous round, they were ready for the A hit. Why? Because Delp pushed out of C long and he knew that it was going to be an A hit. This time, there were no pushes from Alter Ego. Bleed executed the C site within 10-20 seconds of the round starting, and there's already people waiting for them over there. It's almost like running into a brick wall face first.
Find out if or not these people can make a comeback happen. Maybe a 9-3 scoreline against them. And the curse, something that they would be hoping for. But Alter Ego are on such a rolling thunder of a form right now that even Breach would shy away. Moji, he's heard both of these players running towards C, and
God.
he's found that kill. He updrafts away, not gonna be hit more. And Moji, he's found 2, and that's all he needed for his team. 2 versus 3. The Recon's gonna give away the position of 1. Jarpik still safe, but for how long? Delp with 30 HP, he's not afraid of taking this fight even, but he's gonna go down to Cresania, and that's gonna be it. 9-3, we go.
Oh, it's the cursed scoreline again. Maybe a comeback is on the cards,
Switching
but
sides.
I have to say, Bleed, I'm very surprised how they were able to win this round. First of all, the Cosmic Divide only blocked out the defender entrance. Usually, whenever an Astra uses her Cosmic Divide, it blocks out Garage and defender entrance. Not just one of those places, it blocks out both of it. And because it wasn't blocked, Moji was able to get a double kill. Plus, Delp doing standard Delp things, getting into the faces of his opponents. He's using the op at literal shotgun range, and then he still gets away. And you know what saved him? It was the Cosmic Divide of his enemy. Yep. He used Cresania's Cosmic Divide against him. He dashed back to safety, and the Cosmic Divide protected him. He did not have to use any Cloud Burst. So that kind of worked for Alter Ego, but even after all the mistakes that Bleed made in that round, even after all the free kills that they gave away, Bleed somehow still win this one. So there is hope.
There is hope. Oh, Nats. He's creeped in. And he's... Oh, the sound cue's given away. But he still finds the kill. Cresania goes down and Bleed are falling apart. Nats has taken another. And it looks like the pistol going away is probably going to be the end of their reign in this huge series.
Cage 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
one enemy.
Yo,
Oh,
that's about
definitely,
it.
it's
Nats,
gone.
are you kidding me? Oh, he's going for the knife.
Please.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Kush saves him. Thank you, Kush, for being an honorable gentleman. No, but imagine if that actually happened, if that knife actually came through. That would have been devastating.
Yeah, it would have been, but no, this is devastating in itself. Having to be 10-3 down, it is really difficult to understand what exactly you can come back in, right? Because this is a game where you've almost lost every bit of confidence, every bit of strategies that you've been putting up against the opponent. It's not worked out, and you are gonna be feeling the pressure. But now this again, another seaside hit is just gonna confirm number 11, and probably the death of Bleed Esports in this. They're gonna be bleeding out themselves to the end of their campaign in the upper bracket, probably.
Maybe this campaign has a few more chapters.
It does in the lower bracket, maybe. Or
no, I meant maybe with the superior numbers, they can actually clutch this round out. Nats is the only one left, and Frosty's with a very lengthy backstab. So here's what happened. I mean, you had Frosty's trying to creep up the A short corridor, and he was trying to come in for a backstab, but he just wasn't able to because the tripfire of Moji was holding him back. But the moment Moji died, Frosty was like, yep, that's my chance. I'm gonna just sprint my way to C long and stop the players of Alter Ego from getting into post-spawn positions. But still, the numbers difference is too much. And speaking of numbers, you will notice that the top fragger of Bleed Esports has less frags than the bottom fragger of Alter Ego. So that's a bold statement right there.
yeah, it is.
You know,
Now,
just one thing. Since this is Nico and we have some time to discuss, I'm not a fan of Alter Ego standing inside this window, all four of them. You know why? If there was a Hunter's Fury available on Jarpix, he would probably use it right there. That could have been the death of 4 people immediately. Del pushing through the Cypher utility. He just doesn't care. Survives on 2 HP, gets into backside. Now, this is going to clear up a lot of room for his teammates. They can easily go for the plant, and that's all they needed, right? Alter Ego just needed the plant because they were never supposed to win this round in the first place. It's Nico. But maybe they will win it. Superior weaponry now available, but Bleed Esports are winning all the duels. They're getting the frags with themselves, but the moment I say that Nats and Enable bring it back, oh my god, Nats on a killing spree. Somebody stop this man. Only the opposing Reina can, and Nats is using his teammate Enable as a little bit of a bait. Fake defuse, he calls his bluff. Enable needs to win this duel, he does not, but that's completely fine because Nats is coming in from the other side. Frosty predicts this one, but the Phantom versus the Spectre, and we know who comes out on top. Alter Ego win a Thrifty. How on earth has this happened?
well, it's happened the way that you would have expected it to. Alter Ego's Nats is just an absolute beast. He's on 17-6-3 right now, by the way. And that's almost a 3 KDA. 2.9 right now.
Yeah. And nobody from Bleed have more than 1 KD, so...
Yeah, everybody's struggling on the side of Bleed. And as you can see, with just the 4 rounds that they've built up, they're trying to get more. Oh, Frosty! He's gonna get taken down as Delp finds 2, and they run straight into the site. Jarpix with just a 1 kill, and unfortunately for Cresania, he thought nobody's entered into the site yet, but Delp is just too quick on his feet. And match point Crips is staring at the faces of Bleed, going away from them as Delp finds the ace.
Stylish way to drive this point home.
Match point.
Speaking of point, this is map point. Series point, actually.
Series point indeed. 12-4. What a way to finish it all off. What a way to dominate in the end. I think Bleed Esports, maybe the fatigue got to them a bit. Having fought for so long in the first 2 maps, I think they're a little tired.
Wrong time to run out of stamina, but maybe they still have a little bit of energy left in them. 12-4, and they're putting up everything that money can buy. 3 Guardians, and of course one of them starts to shine. Cresania with a kill onto Nats. That's a danger man taken out. Nats was the one who was responsible for clutching out that thrifty round. The only other danger man is Delb, the man who got the ace. If they somehow kill him, this should be a lot more doable.
Let's find out if they do get him. For now, they're holding it. They're holding really slow. And Kush, he's gonna take down Lexi, trying to be a little cheeky. Frosties, no, jumping up out there is a bad decision at that kind of a time. And there it is. I think this might just be it, Crips. 3 versus 2. Alter Ego have the advantage of literally everything in their hands. And they're even faked out the rotations. Look at that. They're running towards A, while Alter Ego are running towards C. This probably is it.
Wrong call. Maybe if they can stop the spike plant from happening by using the Hunter's Fury, things would be doable. But Jopix is holding on to it. He hasn't used it yet. Now, this is problematic because Kush with the Hunter's Fury can easily stop the diffuse from happening, even if he's not on the site. Delb pushing ahead. He's trying to get the timing to work in his favor. If he can catch them, that would be great. And he gets them both! Stylish way to finish off the game.
Indeed. 13-4. A scoreline that honestly we did not think we would see on this map of Haven. But Alter Ego, their dominance comes up in the end, and they are made for the long game, it looks like.
What a difficult game for both these teams. They must have been tired out of their minds, but of course, a breath of fresh air for Alter Ego, and a good way for Sleepy to end the responsibilities of his day, hang up the mouse for the day, and probably go eat some cake. It is his birthday after all, and this is the best gift that his teammates could have given him.
Yep. Given after that first map, the way it went down for them, this is really a great recovery from Alter Ego's side. And you gotta love it. They are on top of things, and they're gonna be able to move ahead in the upper brackets, where they will be awaiting either one of Paper X or Louvre.
Whew. I don't know which one of them is the more tougher opponent right now. Both
Yeah, that
Louvre
is-
and Paper X are difficult opponents, but I kind of think that Paper X have what it takes to get to the finals without any problems. I mean, they are the team that went to VCD Masters Berlin after all, so they've got a lot more experience against stronger regions. So they should be the final boss of this tournament. But given the way how Alter Ego bounced back in this game, I'm starting to think that maybe there is a person who can take down this final boss. It takes a huge amount of mental fortitude to reset after two very lengthy overtime games. One of them was even a double overtime, so it takes time to recover from that one, especially if you're losing that game on your own map pick. I thought Bleed would be able to take this 2-0 after they defeated Alter Ego in Breeze, because that was their map pick, right? Like Alter Ego, they beat Global Esports 13-3 in Breeze. Now, that was a beatdown. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, now they're losing their own map pick, so I really did not think Haven would go this way.
Same. I really expected the same. I didn't know how these teams were going to play in Haven, though. So I think that element of surprise that came in for most of us that, we didn't know how they're going to play, we're going to have to go through the highlights to see yet again how. The side of Alter Ego completely took everybody by shock. But I think in the beginning itself, Crips, I think with the confidence that you could see the side of AE were playing with from the pistol itself, you could kind of say that, you know what, maybe they're looking for this aggressive victory that they need, an upper hand that they want to put on the heads of Bleed Esports and just not take it off. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what they got, because they put the pressure on them from the first round itself. And that's all they needed. Once the pressure was on Bleed, they crumbled themselves.
And I like the way that you put up this analogy, how Alter Ego want to keep their hand on top of Bleed's head, kind of, getting all the information out of their head like that. It was working because the aggressive tactics of Alter Ego did not just get them the advantage and the kills, but it got them so much information as well. Every time Dell pushed up C long and did not see anybody over there, it was clear as day that Bleed Esports are attempting an A hit. And that information got relayed to the rest of his teammates, and Alter Ego were prepared with a stack. How many times did we see Bleed walk into a brick wall face first? So many times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Alter Ego had been stacking up these sites. There were always 3 or 4 players present whenever Bleed was about to hit a site. The only time Bleed was able to actually plant the spike was probably towards the B site, and that too was not when they were executing B. It was after like one or two of their players were surviving, and they were just hoping to get some, bonus economy with that spike plant. That was the only time Bleed succeeded. And again, every time Bleed tried to go towards the C site, they were shut down in all sorts of gruesome ways. You had the Sova pushing out of A long, which means, nobody spotted. Everyone's coming to its C, guys. It is not a fake. This is not a drill. This is the full ban rush, and we are prepared for it. Of course, with Delb using his opponent's Cosmic Divide against him, and Moji being able to find opportunistic frags like these, sure, Bleed Esports was able to win that particular round, but I'm going to be honest, the Cosmic Divide from the side of Bleed has never been on point. Neither over here nor in bind, so that was kind of a red flag.
Oh, yeah. Bleed Esports. Well, this has got to be heartbreaking for them. They had such a great first map. The second map was so close, and even that was pretty good from them. But this is a disappointing loss. 13-4. Kind of. I think like we were talking about it. I think the fatigue kind of got to them. Stamina ran
Could
out,
be.
and at the edge of the barrel, they scraped for whatever they could, and 4 was the max they could put up.
Well, that's Alter Ego winning out this game, keeping up the momentum, keeping up the pace, and Delp just smacking everybody in the face. That is lovely. I thought Delp would probably try to sneak and then probably get a couple of cheeky frags as the two remaining defenders were entering the site, but he gave away a sound cue. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, maybe now Delp will disengage. No, Madman still peaks, still gets both those shots, and what a stylish way to end the game. So yeah, that was
Indeed.
basically Alter Ego keeping up the aggression, and because of that aggression, they got a lot of information, and then because of the information, they were able to stack, which led to them winning 12-4. It was a pretty easy game for them because they did not lose their momentum at all, even economic momentum for that matter. Alter Ego never lost it.
Yeah, let's have a look at the overarching storyline on the map recap screen as Alter Ego have won out this one. I think there's a little bit of a mistake on the API, but it's okay. Not a problem. We have seen what we saw as Alter Ego win out both of the last two maps that were played. 13-4 on Haven, a dominant victory, and on the map of Bind, where they pick out their opponent's map pick, winning out 14-12. A great win for Alter Ego. They're going up ahead in the upper brackets in the TC Showdown, and that's exactly what they were expecting to do. And this is only getting a lot more intense now because Bleed Esports, as they move into the lower brackets, we're going to have a look at the brackets in just a bit, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, I want to contemplate, Bleed going down. They beat Enigma 2-0. Are they going to be able to beat Velocity or Global or whoever it is they face?
I mean, Enigma are one of the stronger teams of the region, so
Hmm?
I think they shouldn't be having that great of a problem. Plus, they were able to give Alter Ego a run for their money. So in the lower bracket, I think they should be safe. Although I must say that I want to find out who they face first, because in the lower bracket, there's a lot of South Asian teams facing each other, and only few of them will go up and fight Bleed. So whoever their opponents are, I'm pretty sure that Bleed will be watching those matches and studying them carefully, and they will be prepared with their homework.
Yeah, I hope so too, because this is going to be a lot more difficult as the matches keep progressing further. Every team is only getting better and better. And here we already have one of our, maybe a finalist here in our hands. Alter Ego could be one, a semifinalist right now, that's for sure. As we are going to have another matchup later as well, ladies and gentlemen. There is an interesting one coming up. PaperX versus Louvre is just around the corner. This one took a little bit of a time. We know that, and we are, a little bit of a delay, but it is going to be happening soon enough. Let's have a look at the brackets though before we have that second match of the day come up. As you can see, Alter Ego, they move up, and Bleed Esports are going to be awaiting the winner of Velocity versus or Exploit. That is going to be another great match. This is just filled with absolute high tier Valorant, and I just honestly I can't get enough of it.
Neither can I. And I don't think we have to wait too much before the next high octane game, PaperX versus Louvre, starts. So guys, if you don't want to miss out on that action, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss when we go live. Of course, if you're enjoying this, then share it with your stream and share the stream with your friends as well. And of course, leave a like. You guys have been watching the AMT Presents TEC Showdown, and we'll see you soon.